And we are live, in theory. I have a different mic setup today, so if there is any audio problems, please let me know in chat. We will be taking a second to let people trickle in case there's anyone coming in. And in the meantime, I'm going to take a drink. What are we doing today? Woo! Stream time. Yes, Zeph. Stream time indeed. Also, I'm trying uber low latency. Let me know if we're dropping frames at all, or if there's any issues with that. My brain broke. Where am I going? Marauders Guild. Gotta pick up the warrior quest. Sex there. So I was at the gas station today and I saw they had push pops and baby bottle pops, and I didn't realize they still sold those, so I had to buy one. The candy of my childhood. Just got my samurai to 90 and I'm thrilled. Nice, Zeph. I know you've been enjoying the crap out of that. After you were talking to me about samurai, I decided to sit down and relearn samurai because of Endwalker. I haven't watched the last couple of these streams. How has the progress gone? It's going good. Relatively slow. We're in the 30 range for story quests, and we're about to start warrior quests as well. Basically, I start each day off doing a little bit of the associated job quests. So we're going to get that warrior quest started in just a sec here.
Elio, just the man I was hoping to see. It's plain as day that you are no equal in our guild, and I have tasks that I entrust to no ordinary marauder. To wit, I just received message from old comrade in arms of mine, who now serves as guardsman in Costa del Sol. It would seem the fighting grown fierce in those parts, and he finds himself in dire need of reinforcements. Mind you, this man is no white-livered whelp. He can wield an axe with the best of them. As evidence, my master, Gegeruju, paying good coin for the services he and his men. No, any enemy you could fluster that bunch is not one to be trifled with. I've sent Sulkwib ahead to tend the wounded. Seek her out upon your arrival, and she'll praise you of the situation at hand.
Oh, thank God I never have to do that voice again. I think that's literally the last time he ever talks to you. Actually, no, I think he shows up a couple times later on. Ah, fuck. Well, that's fine. How's everybody doing? Hey, Knockout! How's it going? It's going okay. It's been a hectic few days. We're gonna get the warrior quest started as the warm-up, and then we'll get into the story. Aye, Elio, you ever the sight for sore eyes? A nasty bell of turtles has been prying on the area of late, snapping and gnashing at everything in sight. Why, even the best man in the Master Gegeruju's could find themselves no match for the creatures. Word has it that the beasts have been sighted swimming in from the lightly guarded northern shore. I would send you there to investigate the cause behind their burgeoning numbers. Still sick? Yeah, a little bit. A lot of headaches and discombobulation, but it should be okay. AC, someone has an axe to grind. Yeah. Also, let me know if the delay is better than usual, because I'm trying out lower latency, and I want to see how that works. But thanks for asking, Knockout. I appreciate it. Happy to be getting back to this. Talking to y'all. It's warrior time. Rivera. He is one with the turtles. Oh, damn it, Elio. We must see to these beasts. Hey, Power. Tea is a miracle. Water, it always makes you feel less sick. Yeah, I try to drink tea. I'm really don't like bitter things, and even like sweet teas taste pretty bitter to me, so there's always a difficulty. But yeah, I try to drink green tea with honey and sugar. Tea is the best. Well, I'll let you guys in on a secret. The acronym for the Eorzean archives is T. So, just saying. Seven hells. There's no end to them. Prepare to fall back. I'll see the shell back. You whelps just try not to end up as turtle grub. That's not what I want. The axe. I've not seen its like in. Elio, we must do what we can. It's funny, she has the same wand as the Pagel. Or the staff. Howdy, Tethys. Good to see ya. How's everyone's... No, it's not Monday. What is it? It's Tuesday, right? I've lost all track of time. Ace, do you feel these turtles are turtle enough for the Turtle Club? Turtle, turtle, turtle. This is what you are doing. This is what I want you to do. That was one of like 4 DVDs I owned as a child, so I've seen that movie an ungodly amount of times. Pretty sure that was child abuse. So the Epic of Alexander. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure Teaholic, iced, hot, doesn't matter. Just make it black and unsweet. Yeah. Sadly, Power, every time I mention that, the first thing everyone says is just the Epic of Alexander. Hey everyone, hope you are all well. Gonna lurk while I do chores. Hey Auroria, glad to have you. Thanks for lurking. I remember seeing that movie in theaters. I don't know if I saw it in theaters. I think I might have. I just know I had it on DVD, but I don't even know who bought it, so... That should send them scuttling back to their nests. You can call me Curious Gorge. One remark about the name and I'll rip your ugly heads from your shoulders and suck the marrow out of your twitching spines. You two are guards from Costa del Sol, I reckon. Not as such. We are of Marauders Guild, sent here by the Axemaster Wernzone to assist in the defense. I am Sulkwib, and this is my comrade, Elio. From the guild, you say. Will blow me down and call me a bogey. Had you told me sooner, I'd have introduced myself with proper respect. You're Elio, right? We've only just met, but I see you in the strength not found in ordinary men. What say you unleash the beast within and become a warrior with me? A warrior, you say? So it was you I saw brandishing the battle technique I had thought lost to the sands of time. Lost. Perhaps in these parts, but where I come from, the way of the warrior is alive and well. My tribe has been handing them down for thousands of years. Yet our numbers dwindle with every new summer. And this is why I left the mountain where I was raised to come here. What say you, Elio? You'd walk the path of the warrior with me. Seek me out in the Hidden Falls. Lovely, can't even nod. Atelier, hello! Good to see you. Good to see everyone. The warrior of old. Well, we've heard the tales, but never once did I dream that I would meet one in the flesh. My memory is cloudy, but many years ago it is said there was a young marauder in the company of heroes who would unleash crushing blows, theretofore unseen by his comrades. When the company disbanded, He vanished, never to be seen again. Might that be Curious Gorge? I cannot vouch for the man's identity, but there can be no denying the display of strength we saw today, nor that he has taken a liking to you, Elio. This could be an opportunity for the ages. Hidden Falls, was it? Were I in your boots, I would head off to there without delay. And for those unaware, the art of the warrior comes from might come from beyond the Far Reach as well, but as far as we know, comes from the Far Reach, which is in the northern section of Eorzean in Aldenard. It is right in here. And you can't see it, but there's a faded line right here reading the Far Reach. And so we've never been there. And I would love it if we could get a map or a dungeon or something, because it's a really cool and important place. We've been to both Eorzean places. We've been to all the Hydaelyn places. We've been to Lalafellan places. Well, I guess we haven't been to the South Sea Isles. Hey, yo. Hey, Brotherhood. Good to see you. If you get a yellow hat, you can be the Eorzean with... Good one, I see. I knew you would come, Elio. Let us begin. Any man could take up an axe and call himself a marauder, but to become a true warrior, he must prove he can tame the inner beast that guides the blade. I witnessed your battle with the turtles, and I must say that I was impressed. You have proven yourself far more worthy of this than I could have imagined. In your hands lies the soul of the warrior, a crystal within which the deeds of thousands warriors from history are recorded. For countless generations, the soul has been passed on to those in my tribe who choose the path of the warrior, to guide them and aid them on their journey. When your inner beast awakes, the runes will resonate, further empowering your will and granting you such strength as never thought possible. Today there is cause for celebration, my friend, for through you, I have ensured that my tribe's legacy will endure. Yes, it is for this day, this moment, that I came down from the mountain. Yet however earnestly I pursue my goal, I cannot deny the fear inside me that my mission will ultimately end in failure. For you see, while I style myself a warrior, the truth is that I left the mountains before my training was complete. And while I carry with me the chronicles of my ancestors detailing the ancient arts of war, I lack the ability to fully decipher the texts. Yes, there may still be hope, for there is another who fled my village, one who shared my dream of passing on the teachings of the tribe, and can read the tome, my brother. Without him, I fear there is little more I can teach you at this time, but that will not discourage me from continuing my studies of the chronicles, nor shake my beliefs that further secrets will soon reveal themselves to me. Until then, I ask that you use the knowledge I passed to you, and continue your training. You must strive to harden your will so that it may endure the strain of future burdens. Good luck, my friend. And we have our cherry crystal. I don't know why I opened that. No, oh my god. Oh, okay, cool, that works. It automatically set my bar from my usual thing. Okay. I need to get rid of this. I want to put on milkshake. I don't need grade 2 tincture. Do I have any abilities not on the bar? Pardon me, one category. Didn't earlier? No. Oh no, I do have originally. Easy flash, shake it off. I think I have everything. Looks like it. Am I missing any rolls? Technically missing Shirk. Good. Well, let's toss it up. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do, donkey. Same here. We do explore parts of Abalathia's spine, but I definitely would love to explore the northern mountains. I mean, yeah, to be fair, we have explored, Dravania, Kurthis. In Abalathia, you go to Azizla plus the Sea of Clouds. You go to Zephlatal as a dungeon, and Garabanius at the tail end of the spine. Other than the Far Reach, we've been to every major location. So, every major location. So, in a sense, I consider myself very lucky. But I really love the Rogadin, so I would desperately love to go travel to the Far Reach. Also, we're going to go do my Feist the Little Chocobo, so we'll do that after. Same here. I had another niche question that I might have read wrong. Always love talking about niche questions. Even if I don't have a great answer, I hope I can at least point you in the right direction. To get the Garuda extreme, they say something like Garuda returned and attacked the blue badgers as they sought to construct a new watchspire. Are they engineers, a legion, or something like that? Blue badgers. I don't know offhand, actually. It's been so long since I picked up the EX quest, I don't remember what the actual dialogue for it is. But I'm gonna make a note of that. And Brotherhood, and I will get you I will try to get you an answer in the Discord. Based on them making a watchtower, I would assume that they are a group either connected to probably Gridania, especially to do with watchspires, but they may be connected to Ishgard or Kurthus. And yeah, I would assume they're an engineering group. That's assumption though. That's not based on any knowledge. I literally can't. I don't even remember another usage of that name. But I'll check Encyclopedia Eorzean Volume 1. I know a couple places that might pop up, and I'll use some other tools to look into it. Boop boop. Job chain complete. Yes, I actually have a job now. Unlike real life. No, that's not true. At work, I have a life. Well, I won't go that far. I have a job. That doesn't mean I have a life. What milkshake would be? What milkshake would Warrior be? I think it might be Rocky Road. It's not strawberry. I hate one because I hate strawberry. But what milkshake would Warrior be? Rocky Road's pretty good. Rocky Road's pretty good. Almost like, no, because I was going to like a butter pecan, because it's got to have something with like chunks, right? And so like Rocky Road succeeds at that. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is that simple. Jobs have milkshake flavors. Look, Zeph, if we can give them fruit-based flavors, we can give them milkshake-based flavors, okay? Thank you, Ray, as always. Thank you not only for stream help, but also making sure that these lovely people get their proper announcements that stream is going up. Because I literally work up until about 30 minutes before stream. So I usually am really bad about putting out announcements. Luckily, I have help. Hate strawberry? How is that even possible? I love strawberries. I hate strawberry-flavored things. But I also hate cherries and cherry-flavored things, but love Mountain Dew Code Red. So look, I'm not defending myself. I have no argument. Oh, actually, by the way, because I'm going to be playing on this character a lot and want to have the bonuses. Plus, at some point, I want to color Milkshake white to match, milkshakes. I created a guild for Eorzean Archives. So, if you'd like to come join the charter on Curl for the Eorzean Archives and be a part of that guild, feel free to meet up with me, and we will get that set up. The Christmas sweater. Yeah. Well, not only is it Christmas sweater, but it is Titus from Final Fantasy X, but instead of his classic ha ha ha, it is him going ho 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 ho. Because I thought I should wear more Final Fantasy related clothing on stream. And I don't have a bunch. Mainly I have Final Fantasy X related stuff and Cactar related stuff. Because, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of Cactars. I love, love, love Cactars. Oh, for those of you who answered the YouTube poll yesterday, the answer to the question is Gelmora, not Amdapor. That was responsible for the Pomanders. And that came to mind because we are passing by Quarry Mill and the Palace of the Dead, which is Gelmoran. Atelier, oh yeah, I'll definitely join. Awesome. Awesome, Atelier. AC Bread Mage might be chocolate milkshake with cherry chunks. So I also hate chocolate flavored ice cream. Like, not like Rocky Road's fine, stuff like that's fine, but like chocolate ice cream, if it's not a vanilla base, just no thanks. I feel like chocolate milkshake with cherry chunks is literally my perfect antagonist. But then again, I'm not sure you're entirely wrong, AC. Oh god, it was strawberry syrup. Oh, AC. Ooh. Send some shivers down my spine. White Mage is pure vanilla milkshake. Yes. Well, okay. But the question is if it's pure vanilla, then what is sage? Because in my mind, I feel like white mage is actually more like coconut, and sage is more like vanilla. But I'm here for this argument. We've had it many times before. Okay. I was about to find an Inquisition, but I can accept it. Of course, it was everything good comes from the 12's wood. You keep on believing that, Tethys, including xenophobia. No, but I think, like, to be fair, of the 3 starting nations, I think if you want to argue one is the most unambiguously unproblematic, I think you can make a really solid case for Gridania, but I also think it depends on your personal values because of what they're willing to sacrifice and who they're willing to sacrifice for the sake of equilibrium and for what the elementals want. Because if you think harmony is worth sacrificing for the greater good, then yeah, I understand why it's more unproblematic. But the xenophobia and the fact that they have kept people from having security, safety, or comfort within their bounds purely to please the elementals, it makes it that I'm more dislike them. Aurora, Sage is mint. See, I think Machinist is mint. Because, like, Kurthis, Evergreen, you know, that, like, the blue of the Soulstone is, like, wintry mint. I think that's, like, winter mint. So what are we most excited for 6.15? Hildy, Tataru, Tribal Quests, or dressing up Emilians? For me, it's Tribal. It's definitely the Tribal Quest by far. I appreciate Hildy. It's a good time. I really love the lore and, like, stories we get with, and I'm pretty sure we'll get great storytelling with Emilians. But at the same time, like, I think Tribal Quest by far is my number one. The unmistakable smell of Chocobo clings to you, adventure. Would I be correct in assuming that you have your own trusty steed? Aye, I thought so. Then tell me, is your bird battle trained? If not, you might consider seeking the advance of Luculot over at Bent Branch Meadows. The Ishgardian native is something of a prodigy in all matters concerning our fine-feathered friends. He should be able to help you gain greater affinity with your bird. Why did they make me come over here? If they're gonna make me go to... Why not just make the quest there? Why? Why? Does anyone have an answer to this? Like, why they made you come down here? It doesn't make any sense. Black Mage would be charcoal milkshake. That could be used in a lot of things, not harmful, but you can't ingest too much. Either that or dark chocolate milkshake. I like that charcoal idea, AC. I think that's really ingenuitive. Yeah. I would never have come up with that, but I see it. I like Gridania the best, but Limps Elements is the least problematic, right? At least I know the least about the city states from me. Limps Elements is super problematic because of the pirates, their history of, like, slaughtering the local natives. Like, no city-state is not incredibly problematic. Many of them show it in different obvious ways, and Uldaz are in some ways the most upfront, especially in the story, and especially thanks to the 2.x series. Greetings, adventurer. Is there something you need? You wish to have the Chocobo trained in combat. There is no small request you make. Riding your bird is one thing. Asking to take hurts in your name is quite another. I'll help you train your Chocobo, but on the promise that you will never unduly expose it to danger. Do I have your word? Very well. To begin, we will need a bunch of Geisel greens. You have my leave to pick one from the fields yonder. Return here when you have it. Look, I already have 666. I don't know what more you want of me. Said everything good comes from the 12's wood. I said that everything comes from the 12's wood is good. Fair point, Tethys. Fair. You were specific. You were broadly specific. I have no clue. They're just trying to waste your time. Sense of adventure. They want us to roam around to see the sights. Yep. I mean, that's fair. To want you to go to the other places, get the aetherites and stuff like that. That's a fair point. Have you acquired the greens? Superb. Now we'll get straight to it. Doubtless you've already known this, but my chocobos are highly fond of Geisel greens. They love the leafy vegetables so much, in fact, that they will completely forget their fears in the face of danger. Thus, by feeding your birds the greens, you can prevail upon it to fight beside you, and then once called, it will be up to you to direct your actions as you see fit. You'll find that your chocobo innately responds to a number of general commands. Give your bird an order, and it will act accordingly, to the best of its ability. This simple yet effective methodology was developed by the Four Temps family, one of the foremost houses in Ishgard. Early setup! 4 tomes. Sorry, not 4 times. 4 tomes. And that concludes your lesson. Of course, it is not enough to merely hear about a practice. One must venture forth and attempt it oneself. Summon your chocobo with a bunch of Geisel greens, and together make your way to Sorrel Haven. The brood ziz that prowl the area ought to be a suitable challenge for you and your companion. Put down 3 of them and return here. And lastly, by way of advice, I would recommend you keep an ample supply of Geisel greens on your person at all times. A resident vendor will be able to provide you with as much as you can carry. Companions now available. Drugged birds know no fear. Pavlov's chocobo. What would Dark Knight be? Blackberry milkshake? Well, we did. What was black raspberry was the flavor. I almost feel like charcoal milkshake almost makes more sense for Dark Knight. Now I'm wondering. I know Gridania's xenophobia, Uldob's corruption, but in the basic job quest, I haven't seen much of Limbs of Dark Secrets a bit. So it is there. So, like, for instance, we were going through the MSQ story here. One, they have the legacy of piratery. So they're still, like, raping, pillaging, marauding, literally up until 5.4. Like, it's just a more background element because some of it can't be expressed as emphatically without giving the game an M rating. But there's, like, literally rampant still murder, like, sexual assault. Like, it's a constant issue in Limsa. Literally the piratery that goes on there, things like the serpent reavers, as much as, like, yes, they're tempered and that's the main reason for their problem, the reason they existed in the first place was because of Limsa being what it is. They basically ethnically cleansed the kobolds and Sahagin out of the region, like, straight up. And that's why, if you played 5.4, you know that not only do the kobolds, like, go when they try to make peace with the kobolds, they're basically at first, like, even after dealing with them, they're like, okay, no, we still do not trust you. For generations, you murdered thousands of us and pushed us out to the edges of the region. And they've, like, if it weren't for the fact that Merlwyb tried to bring everything in line within, like, the past decade to 20-ish years, roughly. I mean, she hasn't really been in roughly 20-ish years. Things were a lot worse during the 6th Astral Era, and it's only partially because all the pirates have been basically become, I'm forgetting the term, but basically they are only allowed to pillage legally the Garlean ships. And if it weren't for that, they would just, like, there would be mass chaos and major problems in Limsa. Which is part of why 5.4 had to happen. Because if they did not deal with that before dealing with Garlemald in the story, that legacy would be that huge problem. Being black and black currant. Maybe it was. We have a video up on the extras channel about what the flavor of every soul crystal is. Maybe I don't know. Gun black cherry is so flipping good. Oh, I love black currant. I wish I could get it in the States. It's not very common in the stateside. Partly because black currants aren't allowed to grow them in the States because I don't know if it's a disease or a mold that they breed is really deadly to a lot of American trees. I think specifically pine trees. So you've successfully negotiated your first few battles with your chocobo. Well done. Tell me, how did it feel? Was it not supremely reassuring fighting with your feathered companion? Your chocobo can make up for your shortcomings or build upon your strengths. Indeed, there are countless ways the two of you might complement one another. Through some experimentation, you'll come to find the approach that serves you best. Before I forget, I have one last parting gift. A saddlebag for your chocobo carrying Geisel greens about can be quite cumbersome after all. There should be sufficient room for your personal belongings should the need arise. I pray it serves you well on your travels. Okay, let's get to the story. And sorry if I'm not answering all questions as fast and as readily as I normally do. I want to try to actually get through MSQ, so I will try to when able, especially when traveling. So, like, right now I do not have an Aetheryte, so this is a good time to catch up. So Limsa is still very much a lawless town compared to others. Yeah, the thing is that's important about understanding Limsa too is it's not just Limsa, it's Limsa and its surrounding areas. Like Ul'dah, as much as it deals with corruption at the heart of Ul'dah, with the Syndicate and issues, there is an equilibrium that goes on there, and on top of that, the surrounding area is, while lawless, not as bad as Limsa. And yeah, like Limsa has major problems, and if you do its side quests, and if you do its MSQ, it is pretty freaking apparent. It just, you don't get a 2.x style story with Limsa until 5.4, really. But when you get to 5.4, a lot of that is more center stage. Samurai would be a great tea milkshake. Yeah, or like sake. Ooh, sake. Dude, vanilla milkshake with sake. I'm gonna make that. That sounds fucking delicious. Holy shit, that sounds amazing. Oh man, green tea milkshake sounds amazing. I would say ninja, but ninja green tea. Well, okay, green tea milkshake for a ninja. Maybe sake for the ninja and green tea for the samurai. Privateering, you mean? Yes, Brotherhood, thank you. And I am getting y'all's message. Actually, I want to test something real quick. In a couple seconds, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. And when I get to 3, I want you all to, you can type a random letter or anything. I'm just curious what the delay is between me talking and you guys hearing it. So get ready. 1, 2, 3. Okay, about 10 seconds or so. Not bad, not bad. Definitely better than last time. For some reason, last stream was like a minute. It was really weird. Let's get this. 4 letters. So Merwell and Connie Center are pretty much benevolent military dictators as far as I can tell government-wise. Yes, but here's why it's not a dictatorship for... So the thing is that what I would describe Morkani Senna as is a monarchy where the gods actually exist, and so her role is God-given, and the gods are the elementals. That's how I would, because her role is passed on. It's not, and she's not quite a dictator because she's more of she's communing with the elementals as a major part of her role. So it's not her singularly making the decisions. With Merlwyb, the thing is that the admiralcy is 1, so it's more of a meritocracy more than it is a dictatorship. In a lot of ways, where the strongest and best survive, and there's a contest for who the strongest leads every period of time. So it's not quite a dictatorship, but the people in those roles do have a form of absolute power in a way that Nanamo doesn't, although kind of does, because the Syndicate wants no part in having to deal with the bullshit of the Grand Company. So in a way, Nanamo does have total power over the Grand Company. Especially, she legally has total power over the Grand Company, but the Syndicate and the relationship with the Syndicate and the Sultanate is a little. It's oh, I don't know why I walked all the way over here. I thought I had to pick up the thing there. Oh, okay, I have to go pick it up in Gridania. Well, that's fine. At least I got the it's right. Gridania has a council. Kanisena has the highest seat on it. Yeah, but because she's the supreme leader of, I think it depends on also what are you qualifying as dictator? Because in all 3 forms of government, while they are the primary overseers and what gives them their strongest source of power is their full command over the Grand Companies, you could also point to the fact that literally Nanamo doesn't control the Grand Companies. Raoban does. Up to a certain point. Hail, adventurer. I bid you welcome to the Adder's Nest. Do you seek to entwine your destiny with the Twin Adder? Fuck no. Morning, Commander. Sorry to disappoint you, but other business brings us here today. Yida and Papa Limo, always a pleasure to see the two of you. My men tell me you quest in the name of the Scions of late. Quite so, Commander. A little bird told us that the Twin Adders was in need of our adventuring prowess. No. Aye, your little bird sings true. No doubt you've heard that we're investigating the sylphs, that curious beast tribe that calls the depths of the 12 Wood home. The Sylphs are, for the most part, a peaceable bunch, much to the delight of the Elder Seedseer, who has no desire to see her people embroiled in yet another fruitless war. The Twin Adder is of the same mind, and 'tis precisely for this reason that the Sylphs' relation to the Primal Ramu has raised a flag of warning amongst our ranks. Friendly as they may appear, beastmen will be beastmen. Racist. Should there be even a sliver of a chance that the summoning of the Primal might disturb the balance between Gridania's and the Sylphic tribes, it is a possibility we cannot ignore. Better to be safe than sorry indeed. Do we strike at Ramu, or leave the Sylphs to their own ways? That is the question, yet I find myself lacking ample knowledge to arrive at an answer. Opinions abound within Gridania, but to listen only to one's own is among the greatest mistakes a commander can make. I would hear from the other side, the Sylphs themselves, and seek an impartial party to serve as my liaison. That is where you Scions come in. The Sylphs of Little Solace remain untempered, and have held many productive dialogues with our people. I would hear their candid thoughts on their tempered brethren. That said, I urge you to exercise due caution. Sylphic tradition and etiquette bear little resemblance to our own. It would not do to have any cross-cultural faux pas get in the way of our productive parley. En route to Little Solace, you will come upon the Hawthorn Hut. Our officer stationed there can enlighten you as to how to win the Sylph's favor. May your expedition be worthwhile. A friendly pavilier with the Sylphs. This should be a pleasant enough diversion. The Hawthorn Hut, was it? Why, I believe the ferry departing to West Shore Pier would take us straight there. A friendly pavilier, indeed. I hope this will be as straightforward as you say, Papolimo. Oh, so I always leave the most recent episode up in our feed, but to avoid clutter, I take the others and unlist them. However, I put them into a playlist, so if you want to rewatch or have missed recent episodes, you can go to the MSQ replay playlist and watch them there. So, if any of you care to go back and see what happened prior, feel free there. Elsewise, don't sweat it. Gridania, plus Gridania's other Seedseers to assist in the device, so not a dictatorship. I mean, that's the thing, though, is like also, in a sense, the Syndicate, as much as they have their own objectives, are also, at their best, a form of counsel for the Sultanate as well. And often because they're motivated for maybe not the broad good, but the stability of Ul'dah, they're not always true evil. Like, their group... if anything, I would describe the vast majority of the Syndicate as lawful neutral. They are very much devoted to their own causes, but their own causes are tied to the well-being of Ul'dah, typically. And some of them are actually closer to lawful... They're not quite lawful good, but a lot of them are approaching it. Like, Ferguson is not. You know, you've got people like Ferguson, you've got people like Ralban, you've got... Aye, the ferry docked at the base of this hill will carry you across the lake to the East Shroud. Once you're ashore, head due east and you should find the Hawthorn Hut without much trouble. I'm sorry, I do not read Sanskrit. Or, I believe it's Sanskrit? Or... Anyways, thank you for your message, regardless. Love how racist Eorzeans are towards the so-called beast tribes. Yeah, the thing I love, though, is that I love that it's part of the narrative. Like, that is an entrenched thing, and dealing with it is a major part of the MSQ from 2.0 onto 6.0. It's not just, like, a thing that's like, oh, whatever, it's let be. Like, there's a reason that they keep the term Beast Tribe Quest until 6.x, and that's when they change it to Tribal Quests. I really, really appreciate that growing past it is part of the story. The worst part of the Pagel Council is that you really only learn about it if you do the White Mage quests. Yeah, I guess Conjuring quest too, but I mean, that's the lead up to the White Mage. That's true, Professor. Everyone at this point is mostly racist towards the Beast Tribes. Yeah, straight up everyone. Everyone is. Hey, Julali? Although there are exceptions here and there, Limsa's goblins, Mammaljan, Kakern hanging around. So all of the people, including Ul'dah, have some exemptions for some of them. Like, goblins are broadly kicked out of Ul'dah, but they're still allowed sometimes. Kakern are broadly kicked out of Ul'dah, but they're allowed in sometimes. Mammalja are broadly kicked out of Limsa, but allowed in Ul'dah. So, like, the thing is that Kakern, you have places like the Rat's Nest and places like the... Here, let's point it out in the maps. So you've got places like the Hammerlea, where you have the goblins that have been kicked out of Ul'dah hanging around and being a nuisance, and you also, in Central Danelin, have the Rat's Nest here, where a lot of the Kukurn that were kicked out of Ul'dah hang around. But your mammal jaw are perfectly fine. However, even though you find goblins in Limsa, the mammal jaw are not allowed in there. So each one has different issues. And then you'll rarely find anyone... I mean, you'll find a lot of people just straight up aren't allowed in the Shroud. Just like... Like, the thing is that the Shroud is actually the... While Ul'dah is the most loudly xenophobic, functionally, the Shroud, Gridania, is the most xenophobic. Like, that's the thing, is that the Shroud's just less loud about it. It was Arabic. According to the Google Translate, it says, Papa is the king of games. I don't know what to make of that, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you, Ray Ray. What's your favorite tribe in ARR? Ooh. I might have to go with the Ixal because I love crafting, and I love the fact that you get to see active changes in the environment, and I do think it's probably one of the better stories. The Sylph one has a funny moment here and there, but is probably... I don't want to say it's my least favorite, but it's... I like the Sahagin one, and the Sahagin one comes back in important ways. The Kobold one isn't very good. Like, it has some amazing moments, as like 2 amazing moments, but the rest of it's pretty bad. Indeed, I am Ameline of the Twin Adders. I understand you're here of the Sylphs, yes? For all their whimsy, they are a wary lot, particularly since the Empire has come to the Shroud. Earn their trust, however, and they're as friendly as any folk. They have their quirks, but so do we all, no? Would you know more? You do well to speak with the master of this hut, Rolf. He's forgotten more about the Sylphs than I'll ever know. Hey, Nick! Good to see ya. Hey, Chris! Good to see you! I will try to get to messages as able. Come to learn a thing or two about the Sylphs, have you? I'll tell you one thing. They're a peculiar folk. How peculiar, you ask? Well, just let me tell you. They're... Beg pardon, friend. My memory is just not what it used to be. I've seen much and more in my adventuring days, and it's all a clutter in my noggin now. Though I've shared my stories with those around the hut before, you might have more luck with them. The Sylphs? Yes, Father told me his stories plenty of times. What I've always found most captivating is how their concept of etiquette is almost completely alien to our own. You do best not to underestimate them on account of their childlike looks, lest your face end up a mess of glyphs, squiggles, and chocobo scratches. The Sylphs, invertebrate tricksters and troublemakers. That's what they are. One day they're drawing marble faces on our masks. Next, they're sending our young sentries falling to the bottom of a ravine. Okay, actually having a wood whaler mask with a warble drawn on it would be pretty cute. Tell them to stop and they just laugh at you. Rolf claims they harbor no ill will, but I dare say such pranks are no laughing matter. The quickest way to a quiver woman's heart might be through her stomach, but don't even think of trying to foist your foodstuffs on a Sylph. They sustain themselves simply by bathing in the sun, or so Rolf once told me. Photosynthetic life forms. Ooh, what's gonna be my Sylph? This one. Ooh, yes, I like that, okay. Oh, of course. Hearing your stories, well, my stories, has brought the memories flooding back to me. I feel like dancing! Yes, nothing brings people together quite like a little toe tapping. A Sylph told me long ago that dancing is a time-honored greeting amongst their kind. You do well to remember this. It just may help win the favor of our forest friends. Oh, still there, eh? Great. There's one more thing you should know about the Sylphs. They don't take kindly to guests who show up empty-handed. To earn their trust, you do well to bring along what was it again? My wife Rosa and I were just speaking of the matter not days ago. Forgive me, friend. Speak to Rosa at the comb. Her memory should prove more reliable than my own. Ooh. You are an adventurer, are you not? Yep. Here, let's. I'm gonna discard this quest. That is not what I meant to press. What's your favorite tribe in AR? Let me be perfectly clear. There are no bad tribal quests in A Realm Reborn or any of the tribal quests. As far as I'm concerned, pretty much across the board, most of the tribal quests get better and better and better written and structured as they go along. But the kobolds, while having some great moments, there's two issues for me. One of which is that it takes too long for that damn kobold to stand up for himself, and even on to the end doesn't quite. But like also like having the lady kobolds have to be pink is like a little like. But don't get me wrong, that moment where he freaking. If you haven't played the kobold tribal quest, I'm sorry to ruin this for you, but that moment where he uses a bomb to kick another kobold is pretty fucking dope. But that said, yeah, it's just like of the tribal quests in A Realm Reborn, it's probably one of my least favorites. Good to see you two. Hope you're feeling better. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, today I'm definitely feeling better. It's been a crazy few days and a couple weeks, honestly. A peace offering from the Sylphs. Were it anyone else, I'd recommend a jar of honey, but I fear that wouldn't get you past their front doorstep. Dear no, their tastes run more to the unusual. Are you perchance familiar with the milk root? That's what we call the root of that most fiendish seedkin, the ochu. When chewed, it exudes a cloudy liquid that's said to induce curious visions in the imbiber. You not catch me dead trying this stuff, but the Sylphs seem to enjoy it to no end. I've not seen the ochu around the comb in quite some time, but I did encounter a suspicious clump of grass the other day. Were you to stimulate it somehow? With some of this amber syrup, for example, you might be surprised at what comes out. Good luck. Yes, I love milkweed. I love how milkweed is just straight up self-alcohol. Watching the stream on TV while using a PlayStation controller to hit the crafting macro from the other side of the house. Hey, Brian, I don't know if I said hi, but that's pretty... I will say nothing is better in this life than if you have a task that is, like, easy to do somewhat mindlessly, and you can double task stuff and be efficient and enjoy something else. It's... chef's kiss. Just need to listen for the... Yeah. Whenever I see Ochu, I just think of Final Fantasy X and the giant Ochu in that. The Gridanians are super races against the Duskwood's Eorzean for one. Yeah, Power, exactly. The whole relationship... To be fair, they are... The Duskwood don't help themselves at all. Now, part of why the Duskwood did what they did is because when Gelmora existed, they were like, no, we like our underground civilization. This is working pretty well. And when the Pagil came out because of Joran, and also specifically, the Pagil are only Huron, a bunch of the Eorzean were like, fuck no, we're staying underground. We like it here. And it didn't help that both the elementals and the people who founded Gridania were like, get fucked. So while there's a certain amount that the Duskwhite did put themselves in this situation, kind of, Gridania's attitude towards them is just antagonistic to too great an extreme. Ah, you're back. Was my wife able to direct you to a suitable offering? Milkroot, but of course! The Sylph quaff that cloudy stuff as quick as I do. A flagon of mead. That's effect just about the same as well. Any road, a gift of Milkroot will have the Sylphs calling you friend and brother the moment they lay eyes on you. Now let me wrap that up for you. I'm starting to feel a bit... woozy. Sylphs love getting high on hallucinogenics. That's just true. That's fact. I've taken the liberty of wrapping up your Milkroot well and good. That should keep it nice and fresh. Not to mention spare you that god's awful stench. The Sylphs love the stuff, but me, I'd rather bury my nose in chocobo dung. I dare say the reek even rivals the breath of the Morbol that put an end to my adventuring days. But I can tell you that story another time. You've much more important matters to attend to, yes? The Sylphs are an eccentric bunch, but I've shared their company enough to know that they're kind at heart. They'll not shun one whose intentions are true. May you parley be fruitful, one friend, and do stop by on your return. There's a flagon of full flower mead with your name on it if you regale me with your adventuring tales. Before I forget, don't go traipsing off just yet. Amelia here would have a word with you. Travel in safety, friend. Do pass along my regards to the winged ones. Can I ask some examples of Gridanian xenophobia? I think I'm being done for missing it. Yeah, we can totally talk about that in just a second. It's good to see you. It's good to see your knowledge of the Sylphic culture has matured. I see no reason to delay your mission any further. Upon your arrival at Little Solace, seek out the young Sylphs by the name of Comoxio. He has served as an intermediary between our people on many an occasion, and has the close ear of his tribal elders. I see that Hawthorne has furnished you with some of the malodorous root the Sylphs so adore. I have something of a far greater import for you to deliver, a missive from the Elder Seedseer herself. To summarize the letter's contents in brief, it vouches for the integrity of our envoy that would be you, and restates Gridania's desire to maintain harmonious relationships with our long-standing friends of the forest. The war with the Ixal has taken a toll on our resources. We can ill afford to get mired in another conflict. I need not impress upon you any further the importance of the mission. May the 12 see you return with good tidings. So, they ostracize many Keeper of the Moon Mikote families. They ostracize most Duskway Elizans. Even those who are trying to live in harmony with them, they ostracize pretty heavily. They ostracize all Ixali, even those who are trying to be sympathetic, because the elementals say, nope, they can't be here, so no, you can't be kind to them. If the elementals say no, they'll just follow what the elementals say. They ostracize. They will not allow people, like, they will not allow people from Ul'dah and Limsa in if the elemental is like, no, we just don't like them. And that happens. That does straight up happen. That's a little bit more 1.0 lore, but it is like a major plot point in 1.0. They are mistrustful of outsiders broadly, and on top of that, they, like, as much as you see Connie Senna, and she's a good representation, I would say, if you want a good example, do the Archer quest. That's like a better example of explaining kind of what a lot of people are like in Gridania, is the Elizin in that. Waking One is not familiar to this one. This one does not trust strange and walking ones. Strange dancing ones might be a different story, but this one expects no such thing. Walking One should go home and leave this one be. Okay, go. This one welcomes Walking One who moves like these ones. If Walking One would talk to this one will answer. This one is busy one, so Walking One should speak with quick tongue. Walking One would bring gift to this one. Walking One is most kind. Walking One brings Milkroot. Milkroot fills this one with great joy. This one gives thanks. Gives many, many thanks. Walking One carries message for Elder One. This one will deliver the message to Elder One. Walking One should not worry. Hello there. We're envoys from Gridania, and we're here to treat with your people. Aye, we've come to pay our respects to the Elder and learn from him more of your Lord Ramu. Who are these ones? These Walking Ones come from Gridania? Walking One became a dancing one and brought Milkroot, but Walking One tricks this one. This one does not like tricks. This one will speak no more. Elder One is busy. Walking One should go home. Go home, you say, but the Sylphs of Little Solace have always welcomed Gridania envoys with open wings. The letter carried by Elio here is an oath of peace penned by the Elder Seedseer herself. Still, you would refuse us? This one's reasons are no business of Walking One's. Elder One has no words for Gridanian. Walking Ones waste everyone's time. Well, I never. Turned away at the gates. Whatever did we do to deserve such a rude welcome? Was Elio's jig insufficiently jiggy? I'm as baffled as you, but something tells me the recent events have our erstwhile fluttery friends feeling unwelcomely wary. It would seem we have no choice but to ask around and see how we might earn their trust. There are about 6 MSQ quests if you start in Gridania, the details xenophobia from an outsider's viewpoint. Yeah, if you do the MSQ where you start from Gridania, it does a lot to help as well. There are also other MSQ quests as you go along, but because we've never had a 5.4 or a like a 2.x for Gridania, there's been less of that. Say, Elio, are you in the mood for dancing? That's right, dancing! You went through all the trouble to learn the Sylph's traditional greeting, but you've greeted them hardly at any of them. Why, if I were a sylph, I'd be beside myself with delight to see an adventurer expressing an interest in my culture. Me? Of course, I'd be happy to join. Ow! Oh! There goes my bloody leg cramps of mine acting up again. Thanks, Yida. Walking one's belly is rumbling? This one is not making a meal. This one is boiling bark and flower seed to dye thread. Color must be jolly, and so must so much greeting making. Ooh! Walking one knows jolly dance. Jolly dance fills this one with good cheer. Let these two be friends. This one is weaving cloth. Walking one would know more. This one does not trust walking one who does not show respect. Walking one would be friend to these ones. This one is overjoyed. But this one keeps the ways of weaving a secret. Even if walking one learned the secret, walking one could not weave in the same way. The dancing is like my first memory of a realm reborn. I was not prepared.
You are not prepared.
For all my World of Warcraft friends out there. Ah, walking one is friends to these ones. Friendly like gracious elder one of the forest city. Knows how to dance like these ones' hearts. Let's get some AR. Let me do this while I talk to y'all. Sylphs and Pixies, that's a recipe for troublemaking pranks. Jesus Christ, especially if you use the tempered sylphs. That'd be a living nightmare. Yeah, they all have groups they look down on. Gridanians look down on outsiders. Odals look down on poor people. They don't care where you come from, only that you have money. True. And Limps and Lamins don't so much look down as people as take advantage of people broadly. They look at everyone, well, okay, they look at tribes. They look down at Kobolds and Hagens really poorly. And then of their own people, they don't so much look down on each other. They look down on each other equally. Yeah, Limps pirates. Yeah. Elio, would you like to hear the good news or the better news? The good news is that your lovely dancing has brought smiles and high spirits to all the little solace. The better news? Why, I've thoroughly recovered from those accursed leg cramps. Onwards to our next adventure. Elio, as an adventurer, you're no stranger to helping distressed folks, I'd wager. Tales of good deeds are quick to spread. The adventurer who comes to the aids of the local populace can go from stranger to hero overnight. No doubt you've seen what I'm getting at. The sylphs who make their home in Little Solace do so by having been driven from their woodland home. Surely they have their fair share of troubles. Seek out troubled sylphs and see what might be done to ease their worries. A sound plan, would you not say? That said, sylphs are not known to share their worries with outsiders. You would be better off inquiring with here Emidia of the Gridanians who reside here. She is most likely to be privy to the sylphs' troubles. Yeah, but sylphs don't turn people into freaking topiary bushes. It's true, but they do kill them if they're tempered. Or other such maladies. Praise be the elementals. I cannot express how happy I am to see the adventurer with a truly gentle heart. The sylphs of Little Solace are sorely in need of aid. Pray, hear me out. What the fuck you want? I should... Oh, go on. Being a temporary settlement, Little Solace wants for amenities, not least a stout set of defenses. Consequently, beasts from moms arounds are free to wander in and terrorize the hapless residents. The Ziz, Gorlins, and Gaul Gnats that roam these parts are especially troublesome, but slaying one of each should serve as a warning to the rest. Furthermore, perhaps you could gather 3 brownie bushes as well. They play an important role in Sylphic culture, and do not claim to know the details, and what with such feral beasts prowling the forests, they are not easily come by. When you are done with the deed, seek out Komuxio, and he is slow to warm to our outsiders, but your good intentions will not be lost on him. My own experience speaks to this. What did Atelier say? They should make a kingdom together called Dope. Oh my god. Actually, it would more be like Sylphbert or Vobert. Fulburton. Yeah. Dude, if there's one thing I've learned about half of y'all, it's that y'all love puns as much as I do. And I've also learned that most of you are as shit at them as I am. Oh, here, let's sync that. Let's do these fates quick, just because that'll get us some XP, and we're going to need that, because we'll want to be at 35 before... That'll give me time to talk to you guys. What did I miss? Anything interesting? Like I like that in certain tribes, some I like more than others. Yeah. Fun to dance. Little ones. But I want to be made into a... Look, whatever you're into, Power. Whatever you're into. That's why it's... It's a shame you didn't stream yesterday. Could have started the week off on a pun. What have I begot? I didn't think so many of you would take it as an invite. It's funny because I know half of you are going to be like, oh yeah. And the other half of you are just going to unsubscribe. I have seen at least one person unsubscribe and state in a comment they unsubscribed because of puns. So, that happened a while ago though. You guys are incorrigible. Did I miss any interesting comments earlier? The torture of the books. Oh, we're talking about Zodiac weapons. Take way too long to complete. Yeah, the books are the problem. As far as I'm concerned, the books are the one problem I have with Zodiac weapons. Yes, farming the crystals is a pain in the ass, but like it's much better than it used to be and it's tolerable. The books are weird because the books are, you have full control over them. They are as quick as you want them to be, but there's just too many. It is an awful experience. I have 2 Zodiac weapons, and I don't know that I'm ever going to complete them. The only reason I'd ever complete all of them, or more of them, I think at this point, other than maybe a certain third one I want, is because I would be if I was like streaming it after I finished MSQ or something, and people like just doing that like a low-key stream. I could imagine farming all of the relic weapons and finishing off every relic weapon that way. That could be fun. And would be a great excuse to play and hang out with you guys. But there's a long time before we get to that point. The 2 Zodiac weapons I have currently are, I have the Paladin one because I got it before, well, I was still in the Realm Reborn. Because I really wanted a relic weapon, and now that I think about it, why did I pick the Paladin weapon? I was maining Dark Knight at the time. Oh, because Dark Knight, right, because Zodiac weapons. I started as a Paladin, so that's why I picked the Paladin weapon. It was also my favorite of the Realm Reborn weapons. Then I got to Shadowbringers, and after finishing Shadowbringers, I went and got the Brevaria, because I wanted to honor Artbert. And so that is my glam that I use for my warrior in honor of him. The knights who say, no, you must find a shrubbery. The knights who say, nee, you must find a shrubbery. I work in the schools. We show CNN 10, their show for middle school and high school age. The host ends every show with a bunch of puns based off the last story, which is always a silly story. Kind of thinking of starting my relic weapon. Is Anima the easiest? Yeah. I'd say so. Yeah, I think Anima is the easiest. Eureka can be really easy, in my opinion, if you have a group, but you have to want to do Eureka, like to do Eureka, and it's much more helpful to have a Eureka. If you're doing solo, definitely Anima. I think Shadowbringers, other than one specific stage, is really freaking easy, and really, really freaking easy to do passively. One quick tip I'll give you. For the Shadowbringers, relics. After you unlock each quest, make sure to go back and grab the quest. Because if you have each quest, almost every quest gives you a passive thing for doing dungeons or trials or what have you. It'll give you a passive. When you do a trial, you can have a percentage chance of getting an item for it. So I have gotten almost every single relic from Shadowbringers after my first one, just not by doing anything, just by having the quest in my inventory and passively building up all the crystals over time. But Shadowbringers is really easy. It's a little harder now because there aren't as many people doing Boja, but I think it's solo the easiest is still going to be for a while. Anima. Dancing One is still here. Dancing One can dance all night. This one trust is not so easily earned. Here's some magic mushrooms. Dancing One brings brownie bushes for this one. This one can dye thread once more. This one is pleased. Dancing One kills bitey buzzy one. This one hates bitey buzzy ones. Dancing One is kind. Too kind. Many walking ones come to these ones' abode, but few are friendly like Dancing One. Perhaps this one was wrong not to trust Dancing One, after all. This one asks Dancing Ones for forgiveness. These ones have many troubles since walking ones last come to our abode. This one must be careful. Always careful. But Dancing One is not like other walking ones. This one can trust Dancing One. This one would ask Dancing One for help. Strange walking ones with bodies of steel come to the homes of these ones. This one thinks steel ones come from Empire. Where Empire goes, many living ones become dead ones. Trees fall and bushes burn. These ones' home is in danger. Danger! This one begs of Dancing One to help this one know more. Dancing One is friends with these ones and walking ones, yes? Dancing One must speak to these ones here and walking ones in the hut house to find out more. This one has bad feeling. This one fears steel ones are after something. But this one should speak no more. Go Dancing One. This one depends on kindness of Dancing One. Important to note that one of the reasons that the Empire is also there's a bunch of here is that we have Baelsar's Wall right here. Strange steel walking ones? Yes, this one has seen steel walking one. This one has seen. Steel walking ones carry big boxes. Maybe walking ones hunt for shiny treasure. This one likes treasure. Spoken like a true goblin. Mr. Baelsar, please tear down this wall. Now, the worst part of Shadowbringer weapon is the one-time grind for the 6 sets. Yep, power, that is the one thing that is a pain in the ass. However, I don't mind it because because the thing I'll say about that is you get a lot of passive experience for leveling jobs while doing it, and simultaneously you get metal while you do it. So like that one that one is a pain in the ass, but it's not as bad because there's extra rewards you're getting at the same time. Shush shush. This one says steel walking ones are scary, like touched ones. This one hates scary. A scary ones have scary friends. Heavenward relics are easy. Yes, the other thing about Heavenward's relics is that you can get most of the steps you can get passively because you can buy most parts of most of the steps with regular tomestones. So for instance, I got all of my weapons to the phase, all my Heavenward relics to the light phase. I just haven't gone and done the light, literally by doing nothing but preemptively spending tomestones on all the prerequisite materials. It's super easy to passively get the vast majority of items you need for Heavenward's relic. The other thing about the Heavensward Relic is that you can do normal mode Alexander raids on repeat to get the light for them. And because so many people are doing normal raid roulette or need to do Alexander, if you just set up for the first 2 or 3, you'll just you click it. And if you're doing tank or healer, you'll instant get it. And if you're doing DPS, you'll probably still get it pretty quick. So it's Heavensward Relic is the easiest, I think. But you can make most of the others low-key. The only one you can't make low-key is the Heavensward, or Realm Reborn Relic, which is always a pain in the ass, just the whole time. Every part of it. Fearsome types clad head to toe in steel, you say. Imperial soldiers, no doubt. I couldn't tell you what they're plotting, but I'm sure it's nothing good. The only big hindrance in the Shadowbring... these sylphs just want your drugs. I mean, yeah. Unless you have the fate farming group that can help make that process painless. Well, the thing is, you don't have to do the fate farming group. You can also just do critical engagements, and if you work on metal and stuff, you can get them passively while doing Boja. Men clad in strange armor. Why, now that you mention it, I did see some suspicious types of late. They were gathering deep in the forest. I simply assumed they were adventurers. Unless you have fake. No, the worst part. Mr. Balesor. Imagine the Garleans on Balesor's wall were acting like French soldiers in Monty. Yeah, I mean, like, AC. I'm just gonna say. That isn't so far off from how Ilbert is acting when you get to Balesor's wall. Just saying. Just a thought. My cabbages! Oh, the horror! You're welcome, Nick. This one is happy to see Dancing One return. What Dancing One learn? This one sees. Steel walking ones come from Empire, carry boxes and go walking deep through trees. As this one thought, steel walking ones are up to nasty, no good things. This one knows forests well. Steel walking ones tried to hide, but this one will find them. This one would bury Dancing One's map. This one makes mark, right here. This is where steel ones hide. This one knows. Dancing One will go looking for steel ones, yes? Query. How did the Garleans diverge from other heroes? How did they lose their ability to manipulate Aether? We do not know. There are two running theories. The one I am personally sympathetic with is possibly Allagan manipulation, because we know that Corvos has a lot of Allagan relics in it, and we also know that Corvos, Locus Amenos, is where the Garleans were 800 plus years ago. So we know they were there for a long time. We also know that they were, at one point, lived in Gaug, somewhere in the, like, Ridderon Cataract near the Corvosi Narrows, so somewhere in here, roughly. Now, they may have fled Gaug because of their own hubris, or because of Allagans, or what have you, and that would make sense that they fled from Ridderon Cataract into Corvos, which is somewhere in here. We don't know for sure, but somewhere roughly in here. The fact that the anchorite at Corvos is here makes me assume that it's here, but that also means that Boja is here. Boja is somewhere in here, basically. But because of that, it's possible it was Allagan manipulation. It's possible it was self-manipulation by those who lived in Gaug. It's possible that Garleans accidentally unleashed something when they were residing in Locus Amenos / Corvos, what it's known as now. I'm personally partial to that as my theory. I actually don't know if I came up with that for myself or if I heard it elsewhere. I don't remember hearing it elsewhere. But anyways, I'm not sure if that's a common theory. But part of the reason for that is that divergent evolution to such an extreme is pretty rare. Like, all of the 5 races existed during the Sundering. Well, yes, there's different clans, like Hellsguard and Seawolf, or, you know, Highlander and Midlander and stuff like that. There isn't a lot of, like, truly divergent evolution in that way. And so to me, that smacks of something more abnormally caused and manufactured. But there's no reason to assume that that is correct. Do not ever postulate that to anyone as like, oh, this is even likely. I think there's reasonable reasons to think it's possible. But the true answer is we do not know. The implied evidence, Garleans might have had ancestors without the third eye, but it's circumstantial evidence, so they can't definitely say for sure. Yeah, exactly, AC. Like, the thing is that depending on if those of Gaug didn't have it, then that means that it happened at some point when they were living in Locus Amenos, would tract with it being caused by the Garleans. Although it also depends when they entered Locus Amenos, which we're not entirely sure about. Hazard within. That's what it says. Hazard within. But that's also one of the many reasons why going to Locus Amenos, why going to Corvos is there's a ton of reasons why we look. I can't predict anything. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I truly would be surprised if we did not go to Locus Amenos sometime during patch content or during 7.0. Like, that would actually surprise me. There's a lot of justifiable reasons from the Garlean Legacy, from Allegan Legacy, from Graha and the students of Baldessian and them taking on contracts to be a great place for doing something like the Relic grind, or the Relic weapons. There's just a ton of reasons to go there. It's also a great staging ground, potentially, for going to... it's not a great staging ground, but it's a good enough staging ground for heading into Mericidia, as is Hingashi or Thavner. But, you know, we're also spending a bunch of time in Thavner, and Thavner is right across from the Corvos. It's literally the Corvos Narrows sits between it and Thavner. So. Dancing One is back. This one breathes sigh of relief. This one was worried. Dancing One found something? Dancing One found papers inside box. This is message from Empire. This one can read Walking One symbols. Message paper has names of foods and rocks. Food and rocks were inside box. This one knows. But this one does not understand. Food and rocks mentioned all come from home of these ones. How do Steel Walking Ones know how to find them? Is there Sneaky One hiding behind this one's wings? Snooping One selling secrets to Steel Walking Ones? This one fears this one's home. This one fears for this one's home, but Dancing One has helped this one much today. Dancing One must promise to always be friends to these ones. Locus Among Us. I need a moment. What do you call a sus Ilsabardian region? Locus among us. Hopefully one arrives at good time. This one needs helpful one's help. One of these ones, named Claxio, ventured outside Little Solace alone. Alone is unsafe. Helpful one must find Claxio. Claxio struck west after leaving settlement. Hurry, before Claxio ends up in the belly of Beastly. Congratulations, Atelier. The only thing I know about the ancient Garleans are they are mostly derived from the Evilesians, and I can geek behind that. Well, yeah, it's interesting what's up with Gaug and the Evilesians. Like, Evilese is just weird in terms of the history. But, like, yes, they were the people of Gaug. And that technically makes them Evilesian. What? Walking One wants this one to return to Little Solace. But don't make this one laugh. This one is weary of living with those who are not these ones. This one wants to be alone. These ones rely on Walking Ones for everything. No better than those ones that summoned a primal one. Small wonder this one chose to leave. This one thought that this is a likely place to build home, but then Meddling One arrives, forcing this one to go deeper into the forest. Meddling One is forbidden from following this one. Away with Meddling One. Also, given that there isn't evidence Garleans were around in early astral eras, I'm of the theory that genetic manipulation was involved. Yeah, well, we know that the descendants of Gaug. We know that Gaug existed sometime within the first few astral eras, and yeah. So I mean, like that. Yeah, AC, you're just you're what you're saying is in line with what I'm saying. But yes. It is. Here's the other thing that's weird about Garleans. They are damn near singular in their inability to manipulate Aether. So again, like they are an anomaly amongst the races, and so because of that, their legacy, their history, their culture, everything leads toward the suspicion of some form of genetic manipulation. Now, was that begot by them or the Allegans or who? It's unclear. What? Claxio refused to return to these ones and went deeper into the forest? But this one saw touch ones lurking in the forest. Help! One must hurry and find Claxio. Helpful One should search for spools of thread on the forest floor. Those things will lead Helpful One to Claxio. But hurry Hurry before touched ones take Claxio away. Algans aren't above genetic manipulation. I mean, like, we know that they have genetic manipulated multiple races and multiple peoples and multiple things. Like, yeah, they're not only not above it, it is a common thing that they did. Yeah, the Garleans are pretty sus. Greetings all, sorry I'm late, I was helping with... Hey, Issa, glad to have you. I mean, that's a serious thing. Their origins are a mystery. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if their origins were explained whenever we go to Corvos. I mean, it's fine if it remains a mystery, but it's like, it's a relatively, especially with the history, especially now that 6.0 has happened, and the time before the world was sundered is basically explained. It's a lot more okay for them to explore the astral eras without worrying about giving anything away or like penning themselves into a corner. So in my mind, I think there's a good likelihood we find out more about the times before the 6th astral era and before the 5th astral era, because like we know a fuck ton about the 5th astral era. Meddling One is back. Meddling One is back. This one told Meddling One to be gone. Tell Komuxio that this one will never go back. Never. Touch ones. These ones should go away. This one is good one. Everyone should just leave this one alone. Be on guard, Elio. These sylphs have been tempered, brought under the thrall of the primal Ramu. Akin to the emulsia tempered by Ifrit, these sylphs exist only to serve their deity. They'll never not answer to words, only steal. I take no pleasure in this, but it must be done. Honestly, the one clue really is their third eye. Whatever caused their third eye also comes from the ability of the manipulator. I mean, that is correlation, but we don't know that that is necessarily causation. I agree it's causation, but we don't factually know that that is for sure true. We don't know that if the reason that they got their third eye is a byproduct. We don't know if their increased strength and ability is why, and intelligence is the trade-off for etheric manipulation. We don't know if their third eye is a complete byproduct. We just don't know. So I would suggest that while I agree it's causative, we don't know it's causative. Touch ones. Chris Hansen would like to... Okay, Atelier. We know as a result of Hilda that Huron Elzen can crossbreed. What other races do you think could? I'm actually writing a video on this right now. I almost had it done, and then my life got in the way. And I need a second pass because I'm not quite happy with it. It needs a little bit more. But I have an entire thing on this. We know for a fact that Roganin and Huron can crossbreed. We know that... Oh my god, there's another... Oh my god. Ooh. This one is safe. This one is safe. This one was so scared. Claxio, this one has been worried. So very worried. Is Claxio unharmed? Still in possession of wits? Oh, Ra and Hir can breed. We know from the Ruby Princess story. Komuxio, and the meddling one as well. Why are these two here? These two came to rescue Claxio. That Claxio is safe fills this one with joy. Komuxio forgives this one. This one did not mean to run away from Little Solace. This one was just afraid. These ones who live at Little Solace were changing, becoming friendly with other ones. This one feared that these ones were forgetting who these ones are, like touched ones did. But this one was wrong. This one can see that now. Meddling... helpful one. This one is grateful. This one will return to Little Solace to be with Komuxio and friendly ones. Can Lupin interbreed with the races of mankind? Not that we know of, no. Well, that should see to that. Why, what say we return to Little Solace as well? I, for one, could do with a nice hot bath. Motherfucker, you barely did anything. We know that Roganins and Lalafell can make me cote. Okay, yeah, we also, okay, here's another thing that's really important. In terms of romances, we know there's cross-racial romances between almost every race. Not examples specifically of almost every race, but damn near every race. So there's a big difference between can every race interbreed in terms of procreate, and do each races have romances with each other. We know Mikote have Hurrian romances. We know that Lalafels have races with have romances with other races. We know Eorzean have relationships with Hyur and Roganin, I believe. But so the important thing to note is that there is a very important distinction between can each group procreate versus do each group can have a offspring. Yes. AC, that was what I was talking about earlier. So the Ruby Princess story is not only was that presented with us, but when it was presented, it would then question and be like, oh, that's probably fanciful. And then it was very explicitly stated, no, this is actually historical fact. This happened. The other important thing is that when this happens, the traits of the child are given by the mother. So whatever race the mother is, that's the race that the child looks like, with occasionally some features given by the father. So in Hilda's case, she has the Eorzean ears. In the Auri case, the Auri had fewer scales because his mother was the Ruby Princess. In the Roganin case, we don't actually know who the mother was, but because she has primarily Roganin features, she was a Roganin, but she was shorter of stature. You can see her in Charlian. With the Eorzean, I'm trying to think of all the other examples, but yeah. There was a joke theory going around back then that Highlanders are just crossbred between Roganin and here. I mean, we know that Highlanders, that was a meme reference from some of the point of the Debs story. Need this video stat. Yes, I will get it out soon. The video coming out tomorrow is the lyrical meaning of flow, which for those of you who haven't finished Endwalker, I apologize, but I was having a very rough week, and writing and making this video was very... I needed to do it because it was emotionally cathartic. This one thought Claxio was lost forever. Helpful One saved Claxio. Now these ones can be family again. This one has known many walking ones, even many kind walking ones. But Helpful One is kindest and strongest of all. Helpful One is a hero to these ones. Helpful One will bring these ones and walking ones closer together. This one knows. This one would take Helpful One to see Elder One. But Elder One is Elder One. What about Hrothgar and Mikote? The closely related being feline like they're actually not closely related. They're as closely related as Lalafell and Hyur. They're not branches of each other just because they are. It's like saying dogs and cats are, because they're both animals and have ears and tails and fur, they're in the same family. Basically. Could they procreate? Based on what we know, in theory. In terms of any proof or actual example, no. This one must ask Kind One's forgiveness. This one made promise to take Kind One to see Elder One, yes? But this one cannot. This one cannot because Elder One is not here. Elder One is not anywhere. Elder One went to forest yesterday, but has not come back. This one is worried. Elder One often goes into forest, but never for this long. Kind One will help find Elder One, yes? Near where Elder One disappeared is the home of Walking One, named Buscaron. Buscaron may know what happened to Elder One. This one would talk to Buscaron, but Walking One does not always trust these ones. Would Kind One talk to Buscaron for this one? And Kind One goes from Gridania, yes? In Gridania live many Kind Ones, yes? This one begs of Kind One. Please go to Gridania and ask fellow Kind Ones for help. And please hurry. These ones are not safe until Elder One returns. The other important thing to understand is that even if you have a cross-racial pairing, it is incredibly rare, like 1 in a million, to have a child. Like, it is a very rare occurrence. Just, like, naturally to happen. It's part of why you don't see very many. Now, it was stated by Koji to be like 1 in a million, but the impression is not that it is literally 1 in a million. but the idea is that it is not a common occurrence. Paz. Hey Paz, good to see you. It would be kind of make sense that everyone is compatible since they're all basically humanoid and there's no like unique internal biology. Well, that's not entirely true. We don't know that for sure. And there are examples of like some effective differences. There's also, we know like just fundamental differences in like structure, which is part of why the like the mother thing is important, because let's say you did have a Rogadin and Lullithel pairing. You would have to have the mother stature be the primary factor, otherwise just biomechanically it does not work. While it's not unfair to say it makes sense, again, I would say don't assume it's true without specific evidence. Postulating there is no reason it shouldn't, but that does not mean it should. Well, if it isn't our intrepid ambassador, how fare your diplomatic efforts with the Sylph tribe? The Elder One's gone missing, you say? Why, if we weren't to end up in the hands of the Tempered Ones, we'd have a crisis on our hands. You can assure the Sylphs that my sharp-eyed serpents will be on the lookout night and day. No stone must be left unturned. I would ask you to call upon Gaia Molko at the Bent Branch Meadows and deliver the message that the Wood Whalers are needed in the search effort. What impression from some of the Ishgard quests make it sound like much more common between Eorzean and Hyr? It's not. It happens. The coupling of Hyrs and Eorzean is common, but the birth of lowborn children that are half-breeds is not super common. It happens, but remember, not everyone that's like the population of the city-states is in the thousands to like hundreds of thousands. Like, it's not depicted in game because they can't, but like we're talking about maybe 10 to 100 half-breeds, for lack of a better term, out of thousands upon thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands. A message from Commander Helio, you say. The Sylph Elder has vanished. Worry not, friend. The Wood Whalers have eyes under every leaf, behind every branch. If the Elder is anywhere in this forest, we shall find him. This one, let's just walk. Yeah, again, like, there's a lot of evidence of interracial coupling. Like, tons. Like, just think about the little son thing from the MSQ. There's tons in just the MSQ alone. But, like Mikote tribe leaders, like, Noons proposition all sorts of Hurrian Wilman all the time. It's not uncommon. In theory, should be able to procreate with each other, I mean. In theory, all racing can procreate with each other, just have much in the way of evidence. Also seems like it's frowned upon in many... Yes, it is frowned... Typically, it is frowned upon. So all of this will get touched in the video, and maybe I'll release it the second I have it done before next week. But yes, it is a social taboo to do so for a lot of different reasons, both dumb and understandable. But again, in theory... I just like to say in theory because every time I say like, oh yeah, theoretically from what we know it's possible, people run with that and start saying it's confirmed. Like I've had people say, I've said things like that and people said like, oh, so it's true. It's like, no, it is possible. And I guess if you want to RP it for now, just be wary that like, that may be untrue. But there is evidence to suggest that it is possible. Buscaron is a good friend of ours, and there's no place like his for the least gossip in the South Shroud. These Sylphs are known to avoid the South Shroud. What could have compelled the Sylph Elder to come here? But the question of motive we must wait. Finding him is our foremost priority. With things relatively calm over in Little Solace, we can focus our search efforts on the area. Hey, Shinigami, welcome. It took me 100 hours of playtime to realize the Sylphs speak in rhymes. In Gold Saucer, there's a Rogan father with a Hyr child. Yes, but that child's adoptive. That's not his actual... It's a very common practice for people to be adopted in Ul'dah, especially because there's lots of refugees, and especially in the Gold Saucer. You see that as a very common thing. That's not his biological son. Well met, adventurer. We have the finest grog and grub this side of... not here to fill your belly, then. A hunger for news, is it? Aye, there's been a talk of Sylph lurking hereabouts, but I couldn't rightly say if it'd be the elders you seek. You sure? These wood scamps all look alike. Short of painting one red and another one blue, most folk would struggle to tell the two of them apart. If you've the time, mayhap you could stay a while and see what the gods have in store. You never know, you might stumble across the Sylph Elder yourself. No word of the Sylph Elder yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. In the meantime, how about doing a favor of old Buscaron in return? Right then, let's put you to work. There's a customer outside who's spoiling for a fight, and I need you to cool him off for me. No need to go cracking any skulls, though. Just take this tub of cold water and douse the drunkard. Tends to do the trick. My patrons can swill grog all night and carouse loud enough to wake the dead if they wish, but as soon as it turns violent, I've got to put my boot down. Oh dear, yeah, Tatari speech did not translate well from Japanese to English. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know maybe if you mean voice acting, because I think Tatari's speech works just fine. What are you staring at? You want to keep them AIs in your face? Sploosh. Look, Nafka's tears, that's cold. What do you mean? No fighting. This Duskwhite scum was an example of xenophobia and racism as very common. Yeah, I know the rules. That bastard gets to keep his skin for now. Thanks for stepping in there, friend. Not that I couldn't handle myself against a bleatin' milksop like that bloke. And I don't want to cause no trouble for Buscaron. You know, having to mop up blood and no bits of teeth and the like. Oh, hi, Nicole. Glad to have you. Glad you're here. I will try to answer questions in a little bit. Nicely done, Elio. I not have my patrons picking fights with each other over a bit of petty prejudice. To all those people talking about xenophobia and Gridania, I present to you column A for tonight's stream. Exhibit A. In this case, you didn't see that the bloke who caught the brunt of the outburst is a Duskwhite Eorzean. They're people who shun the cities to live in the wild, making them no better than brigands in the eyes of many. To be fair, the Duskwhites can be an unruly a lot, but they ain't so bad once you get to know them. And it don't seem right to bar a whole race of people from the druthers for the misdeeds of a few. There shouldn't be at least one place where anyone willing to pay the coin and drink in peace is welcome, don't you think? I appreciate all the good you've done for our patrons. If you aren't disinclined, I have a favor of my own to ask you. There's a concerned friend of mine, you see, a name of Tetaroon, a good lad. It was right after the calamity that I came across him fallen in the shroud. He nearly died in all the havoc, so I took him in and nursed him back to health best I could. He worked here at my druthers for a spell after that, got to talking about striking out on his own. He did, and not long after cast his lot with a merchant bound for Eorzean. Well, it just so happens I got to clearing up around here and came across something of his, the Scarlet Earring. I know he was fond of the thing, but he must have just forgotten it when he left, so I'd like to see what it gets to him. Can't say for sure where he ended up, but might be a friend of mine can. A Rogadin felon named of Banesea. You can find him at Hawker's Alley in Limsa. He knows everything of the coming and goings of the merchants there. I'm glad I left totally off topic. Totally off topic, but relevant to Elio. The new Star Wars novel Brotherhood makes Blitzball canon in Star Wars. That is not entirely surprising. Brotherhood, that's the one with Obi-Wan and Anakin that explains Kata Nemoidia, right? That's what that one is. I try to keep up about the events like of the High Republic and stuff, but I have not read and current canon, but I have not read those books. And also, dope. And hopefully 14 will hurry up and make Blitzball canon to 14. Well, they are tall enough to be columns. I don't know what that was referring to, Nick. Sorry. There's only one thing I hate more than xenophobia: the Dutch. Okay, Nicole. Let me try that. There's only one thing I hate more than xenophobia: the Dutch. Yes. Okay, good, Tethys. I was right. You found your way to Ocker's Alley, friend. Kakern? What worked at the Druthers? Aye, you speak of Titaroon. Related to the Kokoyoko rune, bloke. Just over there by some blood of another. Two of them put in together and were making good coin. But old Titaroon up and left Limsa not too long ago. Couldn't say as to why or where. You're better off asking Kyokyo Rune himself. He can be tight-lipped, though. I warn you. Best take this chicken egg with you. Little bastard loves the bloody things. Good to hear about old Busk, though. Sounds as though he ain't changed a bit. Just like him to send a venturer along, too shy to come his own self. Gods, I miss drinking with that fool. The Eorzean example of Xenos. The Eorzean example of Xenos? What? At Brotherhood's Austin Powers quote, sorry. Don't worry, we love the Dutch. We love the Dutch here. The only thing I make fun of the Dutch for is tulips. Y'all went crazy for those tulips hundreds of years ago. Customers be welcome, not customers. Not come with custom. Kyokiko Rune buzzy with business. Too busy for blather. If one were so inclined, the freshness of this egg could be checked by placing it in a container of water. Were it to lay on its side, it's almost certainly fresh. Should the egg float, however, it may be possessed by a void scent and should be smashed with extreme prejudice. Chicken egg, Kyokyo Rune, love chicken egg more than love customer. Looking for Tetaroon? Tetaroon no here no more. Tetaroon leave Limsa. Tetaroon go look for sparklies. No working a trading post. Good trading post. Forget where trading post is. Weinberg no Tetaroon. Weinberg no trading post. Weinberg at Ferry Docks. You go to Ferry Docks. Kyokyo Rune forget things. Weinberg remember things. You talk to Weinberg, not Kyokyo Rune. Two fishers. Smoking a pancake. Bonging a blintz. It took me 2,000 hours of playtime to realize that what I thought was a Kakern glasses were actually their eyes. Oh, Shinigami, I hear you, man. I didn't, like, process that they were, like, rats for a long, long time. Tetaroon. Aye, I've seen him. That is to say, I saw him. He was headed somewhere up north, by the way of the ferry to Aleport. Might as well head there and see what you can suss out. The skipper here can take you out there. When ye arrive, I start by asking Eldfod. He's an old hand with what knows a great deal about the great many things. Off-topic question. I was just catching up on Hildebrand quest. I was wondering, what is Gilgamesh? Gilgamesh is a fourth wall breaking joke and a reference throughout all Final Fantasy. What is he? Do you want a good canonical answer, or do you want me to answer an answer that's going to be sad but kind of true, which is, in terms of the canonicity of Hildebrand, don't think about it. They want to have fun. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Also, Hildebrand, I haven't played in a long ass time, so it's not my biggest forte in terms of like actual lore, but literally in terms of statements of the devs, how you should think about the lore in Hildebrand, don't think about it. Titaroon, I saw him. That is to say, I seen him. He took himself north through Skull Valley into Oakwood, was looking for a place run by his fellow Kakern. I reckon he'd meant the one right on the shore of Bronze Lake, Memorune's trading post. Follow the road and you're sure to find it. Do I have... Oh no, I can just walk. Cool. Ooh, it's a bit of a walk. That'll give me time to talk to y'all. We know that the first that Lolth are considered a beast, right? Do you mind thinking that other shards might see how they play low race to such? Yes, Professor. I do think that that's possible. I don't know if they'll do it, but what I really loved is that there's a ton of evidence to explain and understand why the idea of a beast tribe is like wrong and racist up in ARR. And each expansion is making it more and more explicit and trying to get you to understand that. And then when you get to Shadowbringers is the first time where they're like, okay, that's it. If you can't figure out, hey, look, literally Lalafell are a beast tribe here, maybe the whole notion breaks down. Then yeah, I made a video on this a year ago. Speaking of, how long has the channel been around? We may have just hit our year mark, because I think we started in May or June of last year. Happy birthday, us. But yeah, one of our early videos was on the lie that is Beast Tribes. And that was before they were changing to the term tribal. And what was fascinating is when I made that video, I got a lot of dislikes on it. And a lot of people in the comments were like, no, you're wrong. This is not a racist term. This is not no. They are just different, which was wild to me because this Shadowbringers was out. Encyclopedia Eorzean Volume 1 and 2 were out, and all of them make this very explicit. It's not this is not a subjective opinion I was having. This is a historical fact. This is a fact. A recurring character that first appeared on FF5 and made small appearances in Traveling Dimensions. Thank you, Shinigami. Exactly. Lol, and lore is a bit loose during the Hildy quest, I know. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Chris. If you were asking specifically the references, Shinigami got it right on the head. They pop up in a lot of different ones. They are a reoccurring character not as common, but Yojimbo. But they've been around since earlier Final Fantasies rather than later ones. Yeah, no lie. Extra history is explaining it, but I don't get the hype about our tulip industry. Yeah, it's a historical... it's just a historical oddity that, for whatever reason, in the States, and I guess in some parts of Western Europe, is just a commonly known thing, brotherhood. Customer be customer. A customer. Now come with custom. Bring something for Teteroon. Teteroon, forget. Forget it, brothers. Teteroon swore would never forget, Earring. But never forget. Teteroon thank. Teteroon thank. Good. Buscaroon doing good. Good, Buscaroon. Good to Teteroon. Teteroon miss good Buscaroon. Good Buscaroon helped Teteroon. Teteroon dead without good Buscaroon. Must give thanks. Many, many thanks. Teteroon make Kikaran firewater for Buscaroon. Buscaroon love firewater. You helped Buscaroon make firewater. Need things to make. Need many, many things. Need curl pup whiskers. Need 3 good curl pup whiskers. Let me try to catch up on the chat. Think about Gilgamesh shows a recurring minor role, has been stating due to this he actually managed to travel to the other fifth world, so he eventually managed to encounter Brats. Yes. June 14th is your first video date. Okay, so we're still a couple... Thank you, Cal. And we're still a couple... Well, no, 2 weeks out from our birthday. 6,000 subscribers after only a year. We're doing pretty good, guys. We're doing pretty good. Glad to have you all along for this journey. Very thankful for the success we've had so far. Oh, and if you haven't watched it, you should watch our Lenosia has a big problem video, because it explains what this giant skeleton is, the Thalos. According to the About page, 228, 2016. Oh, yeah, that was... I think originally I had the channel as a different channel idea that I just made a long time ago, but I never actually did anything with the channel, and then I used that channel, changed its name, and that's how I made Eorzean Archive. So technically, I think, yes, technically the channel has been around since 2016. The first video came out June 24th, or June 14th. Technically speaking, it was very implied that the Gilgamesh we encounter in other FF games, including FF14, is the same one from FF5. Yes! But because the cross-dimensionality makes all kinds of headaches, and also once you imply that the other Final Fantasies exist in this universe, it's quite possible that it is the case. It is even implied. But like I said, there's a reason that they say, like the chronology of how the holiday events happen, even though it's only been a couple years at most. Don't think about it. Ergo, as far as I'm concerned, the canonicity of Gilgamesh and where he's from is don't worry about it class of canon. Which does not mean that you cannot engage with it. It just means don't root a lot in it. Once the devs say don't think about it, what that means is don't use that as evidence to suggest that 14 exists in the same universe as all the other Final Fantasies. It may, and they may go with that. It's not to say that they couldn't or won't. I just say don't use that as like a declarative, yes, it is the case. Yeah, just don't think about it too much. Yeah, exactly, Atelier. You will always find I'm very, very conservative about stating what things that are facts. Because that's how you get Mikotair from Mericidia, people stating that like it's fact, which it is not, and was demonstrably ended up being false, and people still propagate it. Or people being like, oh, Mikotair from Ilsabard because they traveled from Ilsabard over to Eorzea, overlooking the fact that literally the history is they traveled from Eorzea to Ilsabard because they were killed at, and then back across the land bridge during the Fifth Umbral Calamity. Yeah. The wrong Mikotair from Purse. You were waiting, Atelier. I knew you were waiting. At all times, I should always be prepared for your puns. Yeah, that was a mistake I fell for until you explained it with picture and with red markings. Yeah, and that's the thing, Brotherhood. It's here's the thing. Those mistakes are utterly understandable. They're super, super, super understandable. But it's always why it like pays to be very cautious, especially about declaring something to someone else. Like I'm much more reticent to say anything as this is fact unless I feel like, okay, I know this is fact and here's why I can prove it's fact and these are my sources. Elsewise, I usually be like, I believe it's this and I think this is why it is. And I think that is a good practice. It's good practices to have hypothesis and state hypothesis as hypotheses, and to state theories as theories, and to state facts as facts, and not to just treat them as a big old mishmash that like combines together in a big old pot. Science. In other words, they can't make any canonical statements that make sense. Like in Discord, we do not trust wikis. Yes, okay, again, I don't mean to cast aspersions on wikis. The reasons that wikis have a lot of reasons why they are set up to have a struggle with factuality. Partly because almost anyone can edit them. Partly because they often are out of date for things. So I would just say wikis can be useful. It's worth reading them. Never ever treat them as a primary source. Boom. Tetraroon make firewater for Buscaroon. You bring thingies Tetraroon need? You brought all thingies. Tetraroon make firewater now. Good, make good firewater for Buscaroon. Tetraroon start making firewater now. Good firewater take time. More time, more good. You come back later. Tetraroon make firewater. Good firewater. You take Buscaroon. Good firewater for good Buscaroon. Tell Buscaroon no drink now. Tell put away 1 year. 1 year make best flavor. Ugh. Tetraroon hopes Buscaroon happy. Tetraroon gives Buscaroon thankies. Many, many thankies. You tell Buscaroon. Tetraroon make big shop someday. Biggest shop in Eorzea. Make many, many sparklies. All thanks to good Buscaroon. Very cute story. Very, very cute story. It's stuff like this, right? Like, this takes too much time. And I don't mean it too much. I shouldn't say. This takes time away from MSQ when we could be propelling the story forward quicker. It's also important to have a sense of connection to this world, to spend time just being an adventurer, to spend time having connection to Gridania and Limsa and Ul'dah, or specifically like the Shroud and Thanalin and Lenosia, and to have connections to these different NPCs and to make these stories matter and be worth it. But they also slow the pace of A Realm Reborn, which is why one of the many reasons Realm Reborn's hard for people to get into, I think. In translation, yes. Maybe. No. Not really. We're not sure. Guess we'll find out eventually. Or not. Let's debate. Or, also summarized in, well, yeah. I would also proffer that, like, often I posit things more as a form of what my partners and people have called, I call making cases. So like I make a case and I expect people to make a case. My point is I believe what I believe. I want to hear what you believe. And the point is not even to debate like, oh, it is this, you're debating is this, let's go. It's, we both want truth, right? Like the point is we want truth. And if I'm wrong and you have a good source, I'm only going to be like uptight about it if like you're being like, haha, or well, look how wrong you are. I'm right. Or like, or implying that anyway. That's the only reason I get like kind of upset. Like to me, like I want to be a team with everyone else to find truth. Not two sides arguing each other. There is time and place for debate. Ah, you've returned. Thanks for seeing Teterune's belongings to him. What's this? For me? A foul brew that is made by tossing various items found in the wild, both live and dead, into a barrel of water and letting the concoction ferment for a sennight under the warm sun. That is a word I have never seen. Kakern firewater? So he remembers my fondness for the drink, does he? Why, that old... Oh, bloody hells. Who's cutting onions back there? He says to shelve it for a year, does he? Aye, that sounds about right. I hate to have to wait, but I reckon it'll be worth it. This stuff has an aroma and body unlike any other drink I know. It's going to be a long year. What say you come back then, friend? We'll see if we can't make it through this bottle together. There was a word while you were away. Sylphs were seen in the wood, but near no lands of their own. Now this was a place near to here, a place we've never known a sylph to come. Something must have given them a cause to venture this far. More than like, the missing sylph elders among them. Here, I've marked the tract where they were sighted on your map. Go see if there's anything to be seen. Yeah, I've learned that through the wikis. Facts don't become... I play the game and can totally get that the story is wrong, and when I do that, I just look for lore figures to think things out. That's how I found you. Oh, awesome, D. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's just a ton of facts in this game. There's a ton of facts in this game. There's a ton of interconnections in this game. There's like understanding everything is, and then knowing where to look to even begin to unravel questions can sometimes be a multifaceted journey. So yeah. And then you have to do that sometimes for multiple subjects to understand a subject. Teachers tell me don't use the FF wikis as primary source for my reports. Exactly, Tillier, exactly. The color video game gaming images I'm viewing on your gaming is great. Color video game images I'm viewing. Also, hey, Catherine, I don't know if I said hi earlier. Hi. I assume you mean it looks good? I may be misunderstanding. Getting to know the people you will later save. Yeah, exactly, Elvin. And I know I'm answering a lot of these late, but don't mind me. In general, if it's not explicitly stated in the game or in Eorzean encyclopedia, don't state it as fact. Yeah, I think that's generally a fair statement. Also short stories. There are a couple other things, but yeah, those three are basically short stories, the official forums from an official source, or an interview with Koji. Now, also don't ever take anything Yoshi P says about lore as fact. Oda and Koji is usually okay. Never Yoshi P. Yoshi P offers his opinion on the story as he understands it usually, and what he thinks is correct. He rarely, if ever, offers this is what's canon. So if he says something like he said something about what he thinks the source of all the races is and how the Sundering created the races. That does not mean that is how the races got created. So just always an important note. I know it's easy to think, oh, he's the director, so he's good, but Koji and Oda are like the two people you want to listen to. I'm currently going through and doing every side quest since I didn't do them, and some of them really flesh out the world. Yeah, they really do, Chris. I'm actually excited to go back and do all of them once we finish the MSQ. What I might do, I think it'll take too long, but I was thinking about maybe after doing each expansion, doing all their side quests, but there's just too many in Realm form. So maybe I'll just do them all after MSQ or something. Or maybe I'll put it up to a vote, depending on what people want. Yeah, I also appreciate the small connections to a lot of NPCs you encounter and help an AR. Pacing is an issue, but me personally, I prefer dealing with that over not having more world lore. Yeah, Tillier, I agree. Now, that's the hard part, is if you had asked me when I was first starting, I'm not sure I would have agreed. And that's the real rub, is that the sacrifice is not worth it in the long run, but the hard part is you might be losing people in the short run. That's the tough choice. And I think they might be the right choice. I think this is the right choice, and they're trying to do their best to make it more and more accessible. And I think a lot of people, and the people who want for the long haul, typically are going to be fine with the Realm Reborn and will get through it. But I have had people in my life literally be like, I've talked to, and I've been like, I love this game. This is why I love this game. They're like, oh, I'm so excited. And then they get to level 30-ish in the MSQ, and they're just like, I can't. I really can't. This is too much. This is I don't care, and this is taking forever to get through. A couple of them bought skips, and then many of them just set the game down and never picked it back up, which is sad. And that's why I oscillate back and forth. This is a fancy game. Truth is relative and for gamer interpretation. Well, that's kind of true. There are objective facts about the world. Like, Encyclopedia Eorzean is from the viewpoint of a historian, so it is broadly should be treated as factual, but it is fallible. So like, while yes, when you get information from NPCs, it can be skewed, there are things that are objective fact. AR is huge for world building. Lore need to make sure Eorzea is worth saving. Yeah, power, right? Like, that's the trade-off. Joski, the world building in this game is so good. Yeah, and the thing about that, also, hi, Joski. The thing about that, right, is that the world building isn't just good in this game. The world building and the characters are great and really well developed in this game, and the MSQ is super important, and the world building is great. And those things are not separate from each other. They are co-intertwined. And that is why it's so good. Because world building for the sake of world building can be fun, but it's not nearly as valuable. And so why the world building in this game is good is because it ends up mattering to your characters, to your story, to everything you go through. And understanding it gives you a deeper appreciation for what you're going through. So there was aught to be found in the wood. What did he come to the Garleans? What did you come to? Garleans? In this part of the Twelves Wood? First Sylphs and now Garleans, all in the same place. It can't be mere coincidence. Might the Garleans be following the Sylphs, tracking them or giving chase mayhap? But no, this is far too into the forest. The Whaler's spires are everywhere. Imperials could never have stolen past them all. How in the bloody hells could they? Unless someone guided them through, someone who knew where the spires stand and when the Whalers watch. A Gridanian traitor. I'm glad you've come, friend. That's something I want to talk to you about. You know, I've said I thought we might have a traitor in our midst. Someone as was aiding the Garleans. Well, I'm thinking I might have identified our suspect. There's a regular of mine who used to dine on the thin soup and sip his pint on account of not being able to afford another. But of late, he's taken to ordering my best wines and finest cuts of meat. Finest cuts of meat I can lay my hand on. Were he a merchant, I'd probably think nothing of it. But this lad's a wood whaler. And wood whalers don't earn that kind of coin. By chance, I was musing on where that money was coming from when you first told me about the Garleans in the forest, and I couldn't help but putting two to two together. Suffice it to say, if a whaler's working for the Empire, none of us is safe. The lad I'm talking about goes by the name of Laurentius. Last I heard, he was in the South Shroud. Find him, Elio. And if he is up to no good, put an end to it, and him if it comes to that. I honestly think that that's the main reason for a Realm Reborn. Is Eorzea worth saving? Yeah, I mean, emphatically is. I think it also, right, by the time you've done spending that time, it's not even just is it worth saving. You have an answer to, you understand why Gaius is wrong. Like, not just conceptually like, totalitarianism, the idea of the strong must rule the weak is fundamentally wrong. But you can specifically look to what you've gone through in your experiences and reject outright what he says, even with the shards of truth that exist within him when you get to the Castrum Meridianum and or Praetorium, not correct, Castrum. Can you see I'm not on patrol? Be gone. If you have business with the whalers, take it to the barracks. I've never met anyone that bought a skip and didn't regret it later. I have met one person who did, and they acknowledge completely that while it was the right choice for them, they are saddened it came to it. And that they may one day New Game Plus, but it was the right choice because they had to have later combat to be able to engage. They had too much MMO experience, and literally every trial, everything, up until Stormblood, was just it wasn't fun for them. It was just too easy. And even Stormblood wasn't that fun for them. Like Shadowbringers and Endwalker were the first time that are the level of complication that they needed in order to have fun. They haven't started New Game Plus yet, but that's a very specific case. Not long now. To think patrol routes and rations would fetch such a price. No more than I deserve, though.
'Tis little wonder the Empire has risen to such heights. If only the whalers paid men their worth. You! What did you... How long have you... Help! 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 Please come quick! My friends, it is I, Laurentius, and I am under attack.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of the MSQ. What happens after always sends me into fits of rage. Ooh, that's interesting. Wait, favorite parts of MSQ? Really, Tethys? Fascinating. You'll have to tell me more. Skippers don't care in my experience. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that a couple of people have regretted it, but it's not... Everyone I know have skipped is not from lack of understanding exactly what they were doing. They chose it because in order to be able to engage with the game, they weren't having fun. It was not fun for them. How? How did you... You just... I know nothing. I was on patrol. He just appeared. I thought you were working for the Garleans. Actually, listen to the Japanese audio and understand it a fair bit, and I can say with full confidence that we get the localization are lucky. Yeah, localization for this game is really great in most places, and part of it's because of Koji. There are also some localization choices that actively, in my opinion, there are certain characters that are actively better in the English than the Japanese. Just, and I'm willing to go to my grave defending that. The most famous being Horshafont. I genuinely do not like Japanese Horshafont, and he literally would ruin a major part of the Heavensward story for me. The only issue with the story now is how long it is. It's just like a novel. It's like reading a long book series. Yeah, Power. The problem is that the first book might benefit from being a novella more than a tome, and it's like 500 pages when it should be like 200. I mean, that's over exaggerating, but broadly, you get the point.
How long do you mean to keep this up? What is it you imagine I've done? Enough! Enough, I say!
You did it.
It's over? It's over then. I sold maps and rations to the Empire. It was I. I meant no harm. I only wanted the coin. The whalers are good, strong. I was proud to join the ranks. Am proud. But they do not provide. They preach justice, honor, and duty. But in the end, it is those with money who do as they will, who live as they will. So I saw opportunity to change my fortunes, and I took it. All I've done for money. Endangered myself, my home, everything and everyone I love. Why my actions have put your life in danger too. Though you do not realize how much. Bloody idiot. Did you imagine that you had me cornered? It is not I who is cornered. Garleans, I've brought the Eorzean bastard. Permit me a question, if you will. Are all adventurers so deluded as to believe they can challenge the power of Garlemald? You would need a veritable mountain of gil to fund such an endeavor. Such is the cost of great power, or of making it, or of re-making it, as we will Gridania. So that is the way of it. Swapped your hard bunk at the barracks for a feather bed in Garlemald, did ye? You there, Eorzean. You stand back here a busk wishes no? Then you don't stand alone. Eorzean fight! Is the world building folded into the very vocabulary in English? The Japanese isn't. They speak as if they live in a 2020 anime. Yep, that's also kind of true. I also, I will switch between whether I prefer subs or dubs, project to project, anime to anime, thing to thing. It varies wildly and will always depend on context. Not an ARR, but I deeply prefer a lot of the voices in Heavensward On. Horshafont in Japanese is horny hero. Yeah, in a way that is not fun. In a way that just, is a damn near Sekuhara and, is it's not endearing. It's just distracting. And look, I'm someone who's, I'm not a prudish bastard, so by no means is it that. It's just, it's too much.
And it instead of being connected to you, it feels just like too much. Oh my god, he's speaking little ill of Horsefant. Gets brass knuckles. I love Horsefant. Horsefant's one of my favorite characters. I'm speaking ill of Japanese Horsefant. Japanese Horsefant is not the Horsefant you know. Pedro Alexander, while I like it and like they say by the 12, etc. in Japanese, they use English loan words heavily. Yeah, I mean, using English loan words, though, in like anime or in JRPGs is pretty common. And in modern Japanese, hell. Stick insect slapping. Oh, no. The bandits and poachers joining you here feels better if you do the quest in Buscaroon's bar. Oh, because they do that. Nice, Professor. That's a good call out. Like, yeah, that's the trouble of us focusing on MSQ and not doing all the side quests, is while we would get super lost in it, it can add a lot of context to the MSQ itself. I've listened to the Japanese version of Horsefant. Look, if you like it, that's fine. I will stand by being on record that it, I think it actively subtracts from the character and their arc and story. Impossible. How did you best the Empire's finest? That was their finest. And with the bandits and poachers at your side, they're sworn enemies. Why do they fight with you and not against you? But I know the answer only too well. Buscaroon. This is his doing. His words are wont to inspire men to act. Better men than I. Gods, what have I become? What have I done? I'm sorry. No more will I pursue this folly. No more lies. No more bribes. I'll go to the Order of the Twin Adders and confess my crimes. This is something I would like you to tell Buscaroon. Tell him Laurentis, the fool, says thank you. I feel as though a veil has been lifted from before my eyes. That's also a common theme throughout A Realm Reborn up to literally the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV. The idea of grace and compassion and allowing an opportunity to make amends for those who maybe don't necessarily deserve it. That is just like a repeated thing time and time again. Which you can either be frustrated by or value. Oh, milkshake. Alas, Serene is not here to give us our $2. For you shall be my milkshake for today. Yeah, I'm sure Laurentius will turn out to be quite a fellow in the future. Wink, wink. Well, I'm learning new words on this conversation. My only problem of localization is when it perfectly loses the meaning or significance of our acting or insert meaning. So here's the thing. That is been some time. I will say, I think people too broadly say that that's what's happening when what's happening is localization. Sometimes to get the accurate meaning across, you need to not be literal. To convey the idea at hand, you need to not translate. So I know a lot of people who like learn a little bit of Japanese are like, oh, this isn't what they're saying there because this is the word they're using. It's like, no, they're conveying the impression and the idea of the thing in a way that makes contextual sense for your culture and English culture and society. And that is important. That is what localization is. I go to this always, and I'll do this diatribe quick. There's a common anime known by a lot of people in Japanese called Bokudake Gai Naimachi, and in English called Erase. In Japanese, Bokudake Gai Naimachi means the town where I don't exist, basically. But in English, long titles, I know this is becoming more common with anime now, but like long titles aren't as common, and the fundamental idea getting at hand in the title for the Japanese is the idea of the erasure of what from one's life, of one's culture, from one's city, from one's... That is what the point is. So making it the title Erased conveys the fundamental concept at the heart of what's going on and what is important about that title without making it a huge literalization. Now, as Japanese media has become more common and anime has become more common, it's become more normalized. Like the town where I don't exist would be a more acceptable title. But that wasn't always the case in terms of like norms and nomenclature norms and stuff. So like localization is not literalization. I'm getting off my soapbox now. Don't mind me. Laurentis confessed his crimes. I just had a word from the Twin Adder. Seems he marched straight into the nest and gave himself up.
The lad had quite a life, you know. His mother was killed by a brigand when he was only small. As a young man, he joined the Whalers, hoping to spare his fellow Gridanians the misery he had known growing up. Trouble is, protecting Gridania is too big a job for one man, and he came to believe that he couldn't make a difference, that it was hopeless. There are few things more dangerous than desperation, and a man lost in the dark is easily drawn to the glimmer of coin. I reckon that he thought that if he couldn't change the lot of his fellow man, he might as well change his own. Thing is, he was making a difference, just not on his own. Somehow he failed to grasp one simple truth, that those things we cannot do alone, we must do together. Eh? He asked you to thank me, did he? Then there's good in him yet. I just hope that them at the Adder's Nest are able to see it. What he's done ain't easy to forgive, but I'd like to think he'd be afforded a chance to make amends. But let us leave fates to the 12. I have only other news for you, Elio. The Sylph Elder has been found. It's taken us a fair old while, but we'll finally get our hands on some reliable information concerning the whereabouts of your missing green friend. Ahem! His name is Phrixio, and he is the eldest amongst the Sylphs of Little Solace. Long has he represented his kind in dialogue with Gridanians. Yes, he is a bridge between us and them, a small leafy green bridge that can't find at this moment. And bridges are of no use if you don't know where they are. That is why it's so important that we find them. Well put, Ida. There's an abandoned dungeon again called the 1,000 Maws of Toto Rock here in the South Shroud. 'Twas by the entrance to the place that Phrixio was seen, and not long ago neither. If you hurry, I reckon you'll find him. Walking ones, please, help this one! This one needs help! Needs help to help, Elder One! Poor Phrixio! Poor Phrixio! Whoa. Hold your chocobos. Take a deep breath and tell us what's wrong, nice and slow. Elder One went into Toto Rock, but has not returned. This one is so very, very worried. And you're right to be. The place fair crawls with nasties waiting to make meal of anyone daft enough to wander in. What in seven hells was he thinking, entering that bloody death trap? Elder One has no choice. Imperial ones were chasing Elder One. Please, Walking One must help Elder One. Help Elder One now. Ugh, that face would conspire against us. Forgive my pragmatism, but Phrixio is our best hope of reaching an accord with the Sylphs. Were we to lose him, all our efforts thus far will have to be in for naught. I will tend to her words. Yida, make haste to the Adder's Nest and request assistance. Understood. Elio, go to 1,000 Maws of Toto Rock and see that Phrixio comes to no harm. Please, between man and self rests upon your success. I have not done Toto Rock since the changes. I have not done any Rummerborn dungeons except for the ones we've covered so far since the changes. I know many of them haven't changed that much. This will be my first time doing them. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we are practically close. It's impossible not to completely translate word for word. It's much better to translate the idea, even if it means exchanging the length, even the dynamics of the conversation. Yep, agreed, Pedro. Totally agreed. Not only do we always get stronger, we always give people a second chance. Yeah, I mean, that's not entirely fair. I mean, it's also a common trope in shonen. And, like, while 14 is not very anime, it has its anime moments, don't get me wrong. But it's not traditionally anime in a lot of ways, especially not aesthetically. There's a lot of elements of shonen storytelling that exist within it. I like how Final Fantasy XIV tackles Johann Galton's peace theory. I actually don't know that one, Pedro. You should totally tell me about that. I'm too mature to not pay too much attention to Ida's outfit. Yeah, they executed her design well enough. God, Todoroki is so much easier today. It's tolerable now. By order of the Elder Seedseer, the dungeon known as the 1,000 Maws of Todoroki has been placed under the control of... What? The Sylph's Elder is inside. And you're sure of this? How in the seven hells did he manage to sneak by? God, strike me down! For a purblind fool. You must find the Sylph Elder before he falls prey to the fiends within. Entrance to Toto Rock is ordinarily restricted, but these are exceptional circumstances. Pray, assemble a rescue party and enter as soon as you're ready. 1,000 Maws of Toto Rock, now accessible. Let's do it. First time. I'm torn because I kind of like some dungeons that aren't just long hallways for wall-to-wall pushes, but Todorok also felt so long. Here's the thing. Yeah, a lot of them were okay in A Realm Reborn first time. And a lot of the ones in A Realm Reborn can kind of stay as they are because you're not prone to do a lot of the ones in Realm Reborn a bunch, except for the earlier ones. So, like, you can keep Wanderer's Palace and stuff as it is and stuff. It's fine. But I'm way more in favor of making dungeons fun than making them puzzles, like super puzzles. Just making them mechanically interesting, wall-to-wall push, and mechanically interesting boss fights, because once you've done a puzzle once, you've done it 1,000 times, and it's very limited and it's fun. Are these the same as they are before? Yes, okay. First Spear Rydell. Todorok Expedition Notes 1. Dangerous fauna encountered upon entering cave. Culling as permission parameters. Expect to encounter more as we press deeper. Oh my god. Oh wow, did they condense it? I can already tell. Oh, that's very pretty. It's easy to point out, easy to the point of bland, unfortunately. Yeah, but if you want fun, I mean, I don't think any combat in A Realm Reborn is particularly fun. And I don't think, and making it prolonged was not fun. I can tell you, I didn't have any fun with like figuring out the puzzles and stuff the first time with most of the Realm Reborn dungeons. They weren't entertaining. So, a really bad resume is a note about Goblin Slayer. It doesn't matter if the Demon King is back or not. The goblins will destroy the lands. I do not know what that's referencing. I know Goblin Slayer loosely. I'm not very familiar with it. Really bad resume is a Yeah, I'm sorry, Pedro. Not sure. I don't fully follow. Oh, you don't even have to collect. Oh my god, that's so nice. Oh, that's so much more tolerable. Good thing this has been improved. Yeah. Like before, it wasn't interesting or difficult to figure out. Oh, I need to go grab the Magitek photo cells. You just had to go do it. Like it wasn't complicated. It just elongated the time. The lighting is so nice. Yes, I really appreciate those lighting shafts. It's really great and a great use of it. I'm really excited for the lighting and texture changes. And I shit you not, I think the thing I may be most excited with for the visual upgrades, I'm not lying, is the grass. Like the upgrade to foliage. I'm so excited for the upgrade to foliage. You can translate Demon King as an exterior enemy, bigger picture problem, and goblins as a place of human society and human population. What Demon King, though, and what goblins, I think if you're referring to an anime specifically, I don't know the one you're referring to. Wait until you see the last boss. I mean, to be fair, I didn't mind the last boss before. Fun fact, this thing was named after a whip that the Proto-Gridanians used to whip all of their prisoners that they held in Todorok. Because guess what? Gridania also has a fucked up history. Julali? Yes, I love what show so far on graphic update. Yes, me too. Very, 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 very excited. Honestly, another big thing for me, what I think is the biggest thing for me, is an upred in a lot of textures from A Realm Reborn to Stormblood, because there are some outfits like Hien, which we don't know will necessarily be fixed, but it seems like they're going to fix the textures on it. That like major parts of it, you could like the aliasing is just terrible, and I think the aliasing is terrible because the resolution is just so low. To have such low resolution on your main character is just on one of your main characters is just wild. Doesn't matter if Garlemald is looming in the distance or not, the Eorzeans themselves will destroy themselves with the problems society has as they summon more and more primals because of Eorzeans. Yeah! Pixel Exarch. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Exarch isn't nearly as bad, but yes. First Spear Rydell. Todorok Expedition Notes 2. Engage with sizable fiends. Succeed in exterminating, but casualties mounting. Must consider turning back if situation worsens. Oh, did they? No, did they just fully remove? Well, they might have removed some of the notes. Well, that's interesting. Instead of Cat o' Ninetails, it's Curl o' Ninetails. Yep, exactly, Atelier. You started turning into FF3. I think the point is it doesn't matter if you save the world from the big bad if the people are dead from their issue being ignored for the big issue. Yes, then yes, I fully agree, and that is why I love this game, because the narrative, it fully accepts that as part of the story. And if that is your point, I'm sorry I was missing it. It's just a little confused by the wording. Why I love 14 is that 14 not only acknowledges that, but it not only embraces that, it states that, hey, these minor issues, the issue of being able to live together, to work together, and to, break the wheel, the grinding wheel of someone always being on top, is just as important as those existential threats that face us, or those physical threats that face us, because this is an existential threat, right? And that's why you get things like 2.x. It's why you get things like 5.4. It's why you get things like the tribal quests. It's like, and they are not, as much as the tribal quests seem like side content, there's a reason that the Grand Company of Eorzea is not just the 5 races of Eorzea and the city-states. It is all of the tribes banding together with you. Yeah, and sorry, Pedro. I partly because I was a little distracted. I think I would have gotten there eventually. I appreciate you sticking with it. It's a great point and a great idea. Yeah, it is wonderful how much they do it. Is AoEing the most riveting thing to watch? No. I guess I'd probably get my buff at the very least. Oh, right. I don't have it yet. It's just a heal. I'm bad with words. Yeah, no worries. Take your time. Look, if you need to rephrase it like 4 times, anything you want to talk about 4 times, it's fine. We're here to talk about lore. We're here to talk about 14. I mean, we're just to talk too. If like you have people have asked questions about Star Wars and all sorts of stuff. That's totally fine. Power, but only the people themselves can fix the internal problems, while aided by Alfie. Well, but what I love is that 2.x is also about you can't have it fixed by, you don't have one person who can fix it all. You don't have one person, literally Alphino's story, his arc is learning to accept that he cannot be like the one figure who leads everyone into his brave future. He needs to work with others, and he can help guide and through diplomacy can help lead, but it isn't. Alfie helps people get to the place where ultimately they pretty much want to be, not the grand leader that must show them the way. The great man. Alfie is proof that great man theory is bullshit. I mean, Realm Reborn as a whole, including 2.x, 2.0, and 2.x, is kind of about dismantling great man theory. In a way, that's literally kind of what it's about, if you think about it. Between Gaius and Alfie and Anonymous, literally all of it. What we do together or not at all. Wait, there's another Curled Ninetails? Wasn't that like a mini-boss before? This is very different. I always laugh. I'm sure some of you are still here, but I always notice that the UK people become quieter and quieter the closer we get to the end of the stream, because I think most of them are just tired or asleep.
Did you let Alphino engage the Ragnarok? We're probably fine. Just saying, Professor. Let's be careful. That should be good. Yes, I think I did. I think that is, yes, I'm pretty sure I did. Alphino is the source of change. I like him. Yeah, Alphino is a catalyst. But the realization that he is a force for good, not the force for good, is why I love his story. Because if it was just him making the Crystal Braves and being the traditional hero and the, like, I am so special and I have led these people to, you know, victory, and aren't I so smart and clever? That could be okay, but it's not very compelling. And it also kind of, honestly, it's kind of problematic when you think about it. It's not that different from Gaius's narrative. It really isn't. And then that's also why Garlemald in 6.0 is so relevant, so powerful, and is such a wonderful arc for Alphino. And Alice, and all the characters who are present there. Because you understand the juxtaposition of those things that they have suffered, those things that they have gone through, and the way in which that it has led to their convictions and to the things that they have learned and understand. Oh, it's gone. It's all gone! No poison, no more. I'm still here. Good, Nick. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, and I don't mean to, like, call anyone out. I just always... it's humorous to me. I always end up rating midstream. Hey, I'm always glad to have you, Nicole. I'll take anyone anytime. Any of you hop in like 30 minutes ago, I'll gladly take it. Love to talk to you guys. I like to let Alphino be the Picard to my Riker. That's not inapt, I don't think. Yoda's speech about failure proven true again. That is one of my favorite Star Wars quotes. And I think that Star Wars quote, I think, is endlessly resonant to 14 as a whole. Like, it is multiple characters' lesson, and Alphino's no more than anyone's. I lost a housing bid today, so throwing myself into crafting items for my FC room instead. Oh, Nick, I'm sorry. I think a lot of people in our Discord, and I think a bunch of people entered, no one won. My FC entered into one that I think had like only like 12 or 16 people enter, and we had like 4 entries, I think, and we still didn't get it. So, wah, wah. Actually, speaking of housing and guilds, I said this at the top of stream, but I created a guild for this character called Eorzean Archives, and if you want to come sign the charter for it and join it, I will be using it. I'll probably try to get a small house at some point so that I can color my chocobo and all that good jazz. It's mainly going to be for boosts, but as a socializing tool, it could be handy too. So, and who knows, maybe it'll become useful in the future. If you'd like to come join after stream, or during stream, I guess at the very tail end of stream, I will go to Limsa and we can meet up there. I lost a housing bid today, so throwing myself in crappy boots. I hope Disney learns a lesson. At risk of starting a huge flame war, which I will shut down if it starts getting rough. I really love Force Awakens. I really, really love Last Jedi. And I have a lot of problems with The Rise of Skywalker. That is where I stand. Just so that's said. Let us not devolve into anything, whatever your opinions are. I respect them regardless, and I really hope you loved all 3. I really hope you enjoyed whatever you enjoyed. That is all I wish for, regardless of what I enjoyed. Are we at the last minutes of the stream? No, we still have at least 30 minutes. We could potentially go a little bit long if we need to, depending on where people are at. I do need to finish editing a video, though. Yeah, they're hoping I have better luck next Lotto P. Luck to you, Atelier. Yeah, I meant Alfie, after he learns his lesson 2.x, he becomes a really good diplomat, honestly. Yeah, he becomes a good diplomat, and he becomes a better leader, and that's what's lovely. Characters are given room to fail and to grow in this game, and that's why they're awesome. One of my friends won, but I'll be trying to grab it again when it opens up. Yeah, best of luck, Nick. Fair enough, Elvin. Yeah. I do think, look, my one big problem with Disney and Star Wars is that for some reason they have been terrified to use the classic themes, which has been really weird to me. Like, they have not been using, like, they didn't use the Force theme in Kenobi, which is just weird.
Darkness.
It's just like, that's my big problem. I mean, I have other problems too, but like my big problem.
The mighty slayer of Ifrit comes now to me. With a countenance that bespeaks understanding. An intriguing power, the echo. I must needs choose my words with care.
Mayhap I might if I deign to speak in my guest crude tongue. We meet at last.
Presumably that's the tongue of the ancients.
Of the Eorzeans, servant to the one true God. Yours is a most fantastical tale, truly absorbing.
Oh my god, my voice is going to be saved so much damage.
To tell Eorzea's children before bedtime, and it will soon be dark, bringer of light.
The more we get into more and more voice acting.
The dark minions.
All that stands between this world and darkness is an irksome anomaly in the ether. The echo. Yes, yours is a most fascinating tale. Alas, like all good tales, it must needs come to an end. But fear not.
Here,
I love a Vilekin.
feel the presence of evil.
For the end of your tale is but the beginning of another. The tale of the crystal's demise.
The irony is that that is a reoccurring motif both in statement and in, like, spirit. The end of your tale is the beginning of another. Literally onto the end of 6.0. Like a major theme of 14. Oh, even literally in the metaphysics. Oh my god, you guys are going crazy. If any of you are doing hot takes on Star Wars, stop. Lest not that cause a cavalcade of discussion in a bad way. Okay, let's catch up real quick. I only like 4 or 6, but if people like prequels and sequels, more power to them. I grew up on Star Wars. I really love 1 through 6. Actually, I love 1 through 8. Here's my hot take. Star Wars more like okay wars. Now I honestly don't mind most of the movies, including the original trilogy. Yeah, and if you don't like Star Wars, you don't like Star Wars. That's totally a fair take. Their trilogy itself could be called anything but Star Wars, like Han Solo, good movie, but not a Star Wars movie. I don't think that's utterly unfair. As someone who literally made a film-accurate Han Solo cosplay, though, I actually have fondness for that movie. Do I think it? Yeah. The thing is I think if you argue that, really that's the same, that goes for Rogue One as well. It's a very different spirit, which is fair. It is not Star Wars in a traditional sense, but nor is it necessarily trying to be one. So, but yeah, I think that I totally understand that take. Just never really grew up with the franchise as much as other people have. Yeah, and Atelier, I totally get that. I'm so easily amused that I enjoyed all the new Star Wars movies without getting involved in picking them apart. Good, Brian. I'm glad. That's awesome. You are better off for that, and that is what I wish. What I wish was the norm. Or, not that I wish was the norm so people had to love them. Not at all. I just wish that it was as simple as, oh, I love them, or oh, okay, maybe it's not for me, or I don't like them, but I want to look at why I don't like them in the best light and try to break it down. Which is how when I don't like something, I like to look at all the reasons I don't like it, but not to be like, oh, it's crap, but to be like, okay, this is why, this is what I struggle with. Here's what I love about it. Here's what I appreciate about it. Here's what I understand it was trying to do. I loved all the movies except 9, but I also think Star Wars works better as a TV series. Mandalorian, Kenobi are quickly becoming my favorite Star Wars properties. Good, Chris. I love Mandalorian. I don't love Kenobi so far. I'm I shit you not, a big part of that is the music. A really big part of that is that they not using a lot of the classic music at all is really putting me off. Like, literally, that scene, no spoilers, but that scene in episode 2 where a certain character uses the Force, the fact that they don't use the Force theme there really put me off. And I get that that's a deeply personal thing, but that was just like, that entire time I was waiting, I was like, why are we getting no classic music at all anywhere? Really? Like, no Binary Sunset, no Force theme, no nothing? And then literally, at the one moment, I'm like, oh, of course we get it now. No. And so it's just like, and I know that seems weird, that one thing to make or break it, but weirdly enough. I prefer when the Ascians spoke like this. Yeah. Then again, I thought Final Fantasy 1.0 was incredible after coming from 11. I was really perplexed that people hated it. Yeah, Brian, that's understandable. You know, even Yoshi P calls it a nightmare, but I get why it could be not so bad if 11 is your experience, depending on your perspective on that kind of content. But I understand how this guy is on the same level as Emmett Selk. Okay, I can explain that in the next section from Pedro. Got to go pick up food for my dinner. Professor, sorry if you missed it. If you catch this on the replay, thank you so much for joining in. I mean, we only come to know how good he is after we eliminate him. Yes, so that is explained multiple places in the lore, and I will get to that in one moment. Actually, let me go ahead and explain that real quick now before we get started. So, one thing to understand about La Habrea is repeatedly emphasized that he has nonstop been trying to cause the calamities. So he's literally burning the candle at both ends, spending all of his energy, constantly hopping body to body, expending everything he has. So by the time we meet him, he's deeply burnt out compared to Elidibus and Emmett Selk. Now, on top of that, Emmett Selk is way more powerful than... Emmett Selk is one of the most powerful, is probably the most powerful of the Ascians anyways. But he also constantly rests and spends hundreds of years resting and asleep. So that's really important to understand for La Habrea. The other thing is that Pandemonium may potentially be giving us another reason why La Habrea may not be the strongest character, the strongest Unsundered. Because the thing about the Unsundered is they were not necessarily Unsundered because they were super strong. They were Unsundered because there was a back door they were able to take in allowing them to be Unsundered. So while yes, being Unsundered means you should be more powerful, it's not also that so simple. So I never saw episode 9 or episode 2, but I enjoyed the ones I saw and love episode 4 through 6. Awesome, Power.
Finally, fresh air. Mayhap not so fresh. Ooh. But Sinister One is gone. This one can leave this awful place. Did Walking One vanquish the many-legged one? This one is grateful to Walking One. This one is called Frixio, eldest of these ones of little solace.
Echo time. Night, Brotherhood. Sorry if I missed you. What accent did we come up with for them? I think it was supposed to be English. Well, these are conscripts, so for now we'll just do normal. Alpha Squad reporting, sir. Nothing of note at Lark's call, sir.
Understood.
Now I'm stuck in accents.
Understood. Return to Area 12. Damn it all. Where is that accursed icon hiding? No sign of the wizard's friend. I'm afraid not, my lord. Shall I order that the search perimeter be expanded? Absolutely not. We risk alerting the Gridanians to our presence. His Excellency bid us avoid unnecessary confrontation. Loath though I am to admit it, I have found no evidence to suggest that Ramuh will be gracing the mortal realm in the near future. I ask you, what good is a god who does not grant one's wishes? Were I a sylph, I should strongly consider finding myself another idol. Which reminds me, what of the sylphs we captured? A handful of them seemed to be in reasonably good health when last I looked. Apologies, my lord. I fear we may have been overzealous in our efforts to compel them to summon their icon. Really, Centurion? Were you not aware that the vegetable bruises easily? It is well that I do not entrust you with the important tasks of making my dinner. Well, mayhap it was a kindness. Better dead in truth than dead to one's own god, I suppose. If you believe in such things. Dawn is upon us. Make ready to withdraw. I saw the first movies. Useless. We are so close to the completion. I can fair taste it. But at this rate... No, I must be patient. Our efforts will bear fruit in due time. What was it you always said? Ah, yes. Though it mean bring down the very heavens, who shall challenge the limits of possibility, if not we? In that alone were you right, Garland. But your star has long fallen, while mine doth begin to rise.
Is John Williams being stingy with the rights to his music? Hey, Ramsey-L, no, not as far as I know. But that would explain a lot if it was the case. But I've checked and it does not seem to be the case.
This one fears that others taken one has also suffered same fate. This one is convinced. Walking One has been black hearts, seek only to harm these ones. Walking One are not to be trusted. Now, Norexia, do not pass judgment so hastily. Not all Walking Ones are alike. Though there are heavy ones among the Walking Ones, there are good ones also. Does Walking One feel unwell?
Yo, I saw shit.
This one would know what brings Walking One to this place.
You.
Come to this one's rescue, Norexia's bidding. This one owes Walking One a debt of gratitude. Walking One has questions about Lord Ramu, then this one will provide answers. But first, let those ones quit the lightless place. This one will return to Little Solace when Walking One is ready. Please come and see this one. These ones may speak properly then.
I assume I'm nodding my head. It's impossible to tell.
Then it is settled. Let this one accompany Walking One outside.
I finished Endwalker and watched the scene in English afterwards. The German version is so much stronger. This is perhaps something completely different, which hits harder than the English version. Dane. Oh, hi, Daniel. I don't know if I've said hi before, but hi. Is German your native language? Is it your second language? I'm not surprised. I mean, like, a lot of times different languages will hit differently for different people. I just know that for me, English by far hits the hardest. Speaking of armor, I should probably be switching mine up. Nope. Nope, still don't have good armor. Okay, well, maybe I'll go buy armor after this. Gotta have new armor for the new thumbnail for next episode. It can't be a tin can forever. You are very stoic in that armor. Nero, Sid's boyfriend. About localization, really quick. Yeah, Pedro, please do. Keep this type of talk when translating. The way they talk is a portion of their culture, and that is fun. Yep, totally, Pedro. I love that shit. Love that shit. And that's all Koji. Thank Koji for that. He's the one who came up with all the different languages for the different groups. In terms of like giving them a personality, he came up with dragon speech, with the way that the sylphs talk, with the way that all the different languages, all the naming conventions. I know some of it translates over to the Japanese, but not all of it. The relationship is really strange, but Nero is more obsessed with Sid. Sid is like the girl who never noticed the guy who always trying to get her attention. Kind of, but like, it's almost more like a friend zone. Ah, you're back. Tell me the sylph as well. Thank gods for that. I don't really know what to make of the rest of your tale, but I'm full glad Frixio didn't come to any harm. Ah, but there I go, tempting fate. Run over to Little Solace and secure us a place with the sylphs before aught befalls us. Eh? Rest assured, I'll send word to our friends of Charlene and the Twin Adder both. You've done Gridania a great service this day, lad, and earned yourself a place of honor here at the Druthers in so doing. Be sure to come by whenever you feel like drop of Kakern firewater.
Okay.
Looking at time, why don't we teleport back to Limsa? I'm going to teleport back to Limsa. If you would like to join the guild, to sign up for the guild charter for the Eorzean Archives, meet me in Limsa. I am on Crystal Curl. Crystal Curl. Hello, Metarock. Thanks for making this content. I love the stuff. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy it. I hopefully will have more actual videos coming out, and it won't just be streaming. But life complications mixed with a lot of projects that I had in the works are such that I'll have my one video a week, but I also had an entire, or half of a lore talk, well, not half, a bit of a lore talk get corrupted that I need to re-record with Numiri, which is a pain in the ass. I'm gonna grab armor and wait in Limsa, but if you would like to join the guild charter, Crystal Curl. Let's grab that armor. Oh my god, that's way too expensive. Fuck that. You're very stoked in that armor. Very much so, Ray Ray. True, Nero is just down bad. Yep. But tin can is stupid fun. Maybe there'll be another tin can in the 40s that we'll go back to, Pedro, I promise. I posted into the Discord about the half-breed and Laurentis thing. Oh, good, Tethys. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm heading there now. Okay, awesome, Atelier. Since I don't want spoilers, I don't want to write both sentences here, even if they were out of context. Thanks, Denu. Feel free to drop it in our Discord. Someone's behind me, but I don't know where behind me is. There we go. Oh, there it is. I would, but I'm on Goblin. No worries, Nick. Actually, can you only do it if you're on the server? Is that a limitation? I literally don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have any characters on Curl. No worries, Tethys. No worries, guys. This is just if you happen to be. Thank you very, very much, Atelier. Are we getting in-person FanFest this year, or should they stick with the live stream format? Should they? Here's the benefit of the live stream is that, well, they should keep the live stream so that people can still watch it who aren't there. I do want them to go back. I do want them to have live FanFest, and if they do, I will be going. Since I don't want spoilers, yeah, but then you can post anything that are spoilers in our spoiler chat in the Discord. Which Ray, if you could link the Discord into the YouTube chat, that would be lovely. Feel free to do so there, and oh hey, there you go. Invite to party. Let's find out. The feature's only available to use with characters currently on their homeworld. Yep, okay, so it is only currently on their homeworld. Well, at least I got you out of the friends list. In which channel? Endwalker spoilers for... Put it in Endwalker spoilers, because Endwalker spoilers is meant from everything from up to 6.1. That's what it's there for. What am I being traded? What the fuck? Thank you! I promise to put it to good use. Mostly for more tin cans. Do they make milkshakes in Eorzea? Maybe I could buy milkshakes with it. How many milkshakes can I buy? Thank you very, very, very much. And now I'm going to buy actual armor. What level am I? I'm 33. Oh, this is gonna look dumb. This is gonna look real dumb. Oh, that's not gonna look dumb. Okay, let's try it. Clown? Be gone. Hey, that's a look. Actually, let me put on the Sabatons, just because I think that's gonna... Oh no, that's the same. It's literally the same armor. I literally am willing to put on lower level gear because I cannot be caught dead in this anymore. For the fashion. And yes, I know I can do the glamour thing. I'm not going to do the glamour thing, though. I'm going to save that for when I get the warrior armor, and that's when we're going to start doing actual glamour stuff. For now, I have to look like a chump. That's my choice. My only choice is to look like a chump. There we go. That looks okay. Yes, it's not max stats, but it'll be fine. I think the limitation is data center because server migration is free, right? Server migration is different than the well, I forget all the nomenclature. You can go over to other servers, but you have to have your home server. Server migration, I don't think is perfectly free, like to permanently transfer your home server. I think so. You're not able to teleport to a house if the FC had one. Okay, Nick. Maybe also create a cross-world link shell. Great idea, Spirit Songstress. I will do that as well. And DD Feathermoon. I do not know who this is. But thank you for signing the charter. I don't see the channel. Do I still have to be? Make sure to read the rules and accept the things for the Discord channel. Usually that's what it is. It's been I've never had to join it because it was made. And I'm sure anyone who is in the Discord, who is in chat, can walk you through and answer your question if you have any. D from Stream. Okay, somehow I should have figured that out. D, thank you so much thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm gonna make that cross-world link shell. Although I just realized I have no idea how to make a link shell. Oh right, I have to go to the link shell creator. The only one I know where it is in Gridania. I feel like, no, I know there's one in, I'm going to see if I can figure this out. I'm going to not look at chat for a second because I know someone's going to be telling me. But I know where it is in Ul'dah, I know where it is in Gridania. I'm assuming it's in the Aft Castle, and I think I know where in the Aft Castle. Also, that 1 million gil is going to be going towards getting us a small house. So thank you very, 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 very much for that initial investment. Oh, thank you, D. Like, I've had a rough couple days, and I had a rough couple days before that, and there's possibility that the next couple days could also be rough. Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. Thank you all for being here for talking. Thank you all for your kind words, and sincerely, thank you. Thank you for your chats, and then thank you for all of this. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Link shell distributor. There we go. Oh, I should have talked. Actually, well, I literally already made a video on link shells. I already know more link shells. Woo! Woo! 20 characters exact. Now let me make sure I didn't typo. That looks good. Spicy. Okay, let me catch up on your thing on the chat real quick. Oh my lordy. Okay, that is a lot of dough, enough to not feel hot in Ul'dah. Your link shell would be awesome. Making that. I don't see this channel. Do I still have to be activated? I'm sure someone is answering. Those pants are amazing. Agree. Yeah, Pedro, look at this. Look at this outfit. This is good. This is looking like a good boy. Not so much of a chump, at least. Agreed. Honey, I think I can go hunting today. Why not? Not a chimp nor a chump. Maybe a champ. Glam is too addictive anyways. That would turn into a 12-hour stream without even noticing. Yep. I have a character on Curl if you need someone else. Where? I don't know where you are at. I don't know why I didn't invite you to a party so you could find me. There you are. I should have known you had a character on Curl. At this point, I'm literally more surprised that you don't have a character on every world. In case anyone wasn't aware, Ray Ray is an ultaholic. Does that count? Okay, let me catch up real quick while I'm waiting for that. Did you message me in Discord? Cool, cool, cool. I joined that link shell. It's by the mail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for making it a great place to hang out. Awesome. Good. Thanks, Nick. Perfection. Wow, that's perfect. I was talking about the red ones, but sure. Bright red ones.
You're talking about the ones that are nightmares, Pedro. Elio's starting to look hot. Look at that boy. He's ready. He's even posing before I was doing anything. Ready to go. Look at this man. Give him a big old smile. Yeah. A man of adventure, of action. It's true. Okay, so although I only have 3 characters to legit play with Final Fantasy XIV, and that's a lot. Damn, Altelier. I have 2. They are my main and Elio. That's it. I am super the opposite of an altaholic. On my way for CW. Okay, cool. Everyone who wants the Crossworld Link Shell, who is on Crystal, feel free to come join and come get it. I'm going to invite... Okay, I've already invited Ray to the Link, the Grand Company. It's just up to them. But yes, I'm going to stand up here at Crystal to do the Link Shell. In terms of content, anyone who is watching for specific me doing lore-specific MSQ content, the rest of the stream is probably going to be wrapping up these little things. So I apologize. There's probably going to be very little of that. If you are listening after the fact, you can cut out here now. If you're listening right now to not talk socially or any of that and are headed out anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it deeply. It is not the end yet, though. We'll be around for a couple more minutes. Jalali. Aw, what a heart. Is this meant to be Horshman's lost sibling? His third at this point? No, part of why I picked Elio is because I'm taller in real life. I mean, I'm like 5'11", I'm not tall, but, oh, what? Is it? Oh, is it not a Crossworld Link Shell? How do I... great. Where even is it? Link Shells? Social, probably. Yeah, okay, I didn't make the Crossworld Link Shell. Archives. Let's fix that. Invite to Crossworld Link Shell. There we go. Ray, is your character already in a guild? No, doesn't seem like it. Oh no, it says you're in. Oh, there we. I opened my mouth. That's all it took. We did it, guys. We have a guild officially. Thanks. Everything worked. Wonder what it said in Japanese. Wonder. Oh, is that part of the question? Wonder what's said in Japanese. I'll figure out once the stream's done. Woo! We did it! And we can also talk to each other now. Crossworld. What is it? CW. Is it 1? Is it space 1? Nah, fuck. I'll just tap this. No, that's the link shell I want. All. There we go. Yay, Gratz, your new club is official. Thanks, Ramsey-L. Yay! I should actually probably go turn this in, shouldn't I? Yes, to anyone who would like to join the Crossworld Link Shell, if you want to just like say so in chat right now, I will try to get that figured out and fixed up before I hop off, or at the very least, even if I end stream, I'll try to get you on that before. For anyone who doesn't know how to get to it, you can just click that bubble icon and click on Crossworld Link Shell to talk. Submit free company petition. Thanks. I got that monies. We did it, guys. We exist. Oh, and Ray's in it. Oh, sweet. I already have like someone I can make actually, why not? You can probably name the terms, can't you? No, that's the wrong button. I'm going crazy. That's why I couldn't remember what it was. Member, master. Where even are the ranks? Officer. Okay, well, I'll tinker with all that later. No worries about it now.
I do. Okay, Chris, cool. I'll wait for you. I will hang out right here for a second, and I will talk to you guys in chat for a little bit. What's the name of the free company again? Eorzean Archives. Here, I can probably select myself. Nope, doesn't pop up. But it is literally just Eorzean Archives. I could have done the Eorzean Archives, but I thought there was going to be too many letters, not remembering that it was literally the. Although I just realized on that application I could have changed the name. Whoops. Wait, oh, can I still do it now? Archives. There we go. Much better. Oh, that feels good. Spirit Songstress, I'm gonna come and hang out with you all on Curl. Please do, Dinu. Oh, and I'm actually a silent viewer, and I found you through End Talkers. Thanks for the good content. Absolutely, Dinu. I'm glad you enjoyed them. We will have more coming out soon. I have like 3 of them recorded. I just have not had time to finish editing them. But we have up to Mare Lamentorum recorded, and they will be coming out within a week or 2. It just depends on my other life responsibilities. If Ray is in it, you might be able to give her the ability to invite others. Yes, Aurora, I'm gonna give Ray like I'm gonna set that so Ray can do stuff like that. Yep. See, talking out loud helps to keep on track. Yes. Yes. Hey yo. Invite to Crossworld Link Shell. And I don't know if you're... I'm just going to default to inviting people to the free company. Okay, yeah, can't because Homeworld. I don't know if this is someone else. I can't tell who... You have to wave at me if you're in stream, because otherwise I just assume you're a random. Okay, cool. That answers that. And invites to... company. That's what I was looking for. Nope, cool. Also, make recruitment through Community Finder. For randoms? Because I'm not sure I want to do that yet. This is more... For now, this is about... Maybe after finishing like a Realm Reborn or MSQ or something. For now, I want to keep it at least people who are viewers. Never mind, I can visit Krolls. I have to make an alt. I'm sorry, Chris. Well, I definitely will be here if you want to. And I'm sure not only would Ray and other people love to play with you, but I mean, I can play with you with Elio. Assuming people are random. Y'all talking just about limbs and shit. We're leaving for dinner here. See y'all later. Have a nice week and good luck. Thanks, Pedro. Glad to have you here. We will be streaming. Actually, tomorrow's day off. Thursday we'll be streaming. Every week. It is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. At 3 p.m. CST is when it begins, and it typically ends at 6 p.m. CST. And we're going a little bit long today because of figuring this out. Hello, Nini. And don't see a guild, so let's invite the company. Okay, free world. Hey, D, did I not invite you to the Crossworld? Yeah, okay, I invited you, I think, to the regular one or something. And then I already tried this, right? And it didn't work. Right? Oh, no. Oh, cool. Oh, no, you're already in it. Gosh, sure. You're never going to give that Tethys up, Tethys, are you? Welcome, welcome. Yay, everyone's talking and socializing. Oh, speaking of, to like Tethys and to many others of you, thank you for socializing in the Discord. It's really lovely, even when I am really busy or unable to just see like all y'all chatting. I still read it, I still see it, and it's really lovely, and it brings a smile to me. It brightens my day to know that that community stuff is going on. So thank you. Okay. Cool. Let's wrap it up then. So, reminders that there's streams every Monday, unless there's a holiday, Tuesday, unless there's a holiday, and Thursday, unless there's a holiday. Fridays, we have book club. On Saturdays, we have community stream, where we do, any member can ask to do anything. We've done trials, last week we did Binding Coils for a bunch of people who hadn't done it, and we just go through any piece of content or anything, whether it be you want mounts or minions, or you just want to do treasure maps for the first time. Anything. That is what the Saturday stream is for. Please just message in the Discord. You can just say, hey, I'd really like to do this. With that said, I've been Elliot Forcheron. If you'd like to socialize and chat with all the people around here, these lovely people in the chat, who I don't know who I'm pointing at. Yeah. You can join our Discord, which I'm sure Ray Ray has either linked multiple times or will link again, or look down in the description below. If you'd like to support us, you can always send a super chat here on YouTube, which is super helpful. Or you can think about supporting us on Patreon, where if you give us a couple dollars a month, you can get fun titles for the Discord and other such things. And it goes a long way to helping us and supporting us and making this whole thing more sustainable. And hopefully in the future, be able to make it so I can do more editing more often and put out more content. I think that's just about everything. Oh, okay. If you like reading lore, but in written format, we have the website eorzeanarchives.com, where Naniri writes the majority of articles, and I definitely recommend you checking that out. Like lore in general and haven't checked out some of our older videos, feel free to go do that as well. I'm going to read the chat one last time, and I'm going to wave goodbye. So, let's do that. Thank you. Have a good evening. Have a good evening to you too, D. Good night, peeps. Good night, Nick. Power, we'll join later, probably tomorrow sometime, but great stream. Awesome, Power. Yeah. Chris, thank you. Absolutely, Chris. If you make that alt, I'd love to play with you. Don't worry. And if not, don't worry about it. Atelier, thanks for the stream. Yes, thank you for watching it. Sincerely to all of you. I appreciate it very, very much, and that is not a platitude. Oh, I missed the stream. Have a good rest of your day, mate. Hey, Eden, don't worry. There will be another one on Thursday. And also, this will be up, so you're welcome to watch it. On top of that, I forgot to remind everyone, make sure to check, if you want to watch older streams or miss something, you can always check them out on the... there's a playlist of the entire MSQ replay. The most recent episode will always be live, but then you have to go to the playlist in order to watch them. Nighty-night, Tethys. Good evening. Have a good evening to all, and to all, a good night. And with that said, for anyone who's left, give a clap to Ray Ray, because Ray Ray is awesome. Not only does Ray Ray moderate these discussion, not only does Ray Ray moderate the Discord, but when I am super busy, Ray Ray makes sure that announcement goes out so all of you know that there's a stream going on, and I cannot tell you how invaluable that is, because my life is a bit of chaos. Thank you, stream. Yes, thank you, Juloli. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm headed on out. Cheers, all. Have a lovely night.